now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Mojo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, the mighty Mojo 50.
All right.
Holy crap.
Does it look good? Does it look good, huh?
I can't see you, Brad.
That's probably better if you ask some people. Just I thought
Holy cow.
I would get us into the I'd get us into the mood here. You know, let's just play Pink Floyd music all morning. Hear the guitar? That was sold at auction. The most for any guitar in history. $3.9 million. 1969 black Fender Stratocaster that belonged to David Gilmour.
Wow.
And he sold off all of his guitars over the weekend, apparently. Maybe, let's see, I guess it would have been on Friday that they had the auction, and he sold them all off. They brought in a grand total of $21.5 million.
Did he need the money? What was...
No. He's going to take all of the money, and it's going to help to combat climate change. Ta-da!
What in the hell?
He sold off 120 of his iconic guitars to give people, to give joy to other people, and in turn raise funds to help fight climate change. The guitars have been very good to me, he said. They're my friends. They've given me lots of music. I just think it's time that they went off and served somebody else. I've had my time with them. And, of course, the money that they will raise will do an enormous amount of good in the world, and that is my intention. So there you have it. That same guitar was not only used on Comfortably Numb, but also Money, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, and a whole lot more. He even used it on his self-titled debut album in 1978. So if you were hoping to get a piece of Pink Floyd memorabilia in the form of David Gilmour's guitar, you're too late. Although I'm sure that whoever bought it would probably sell it to you for $6 million. Yeah, $21.5 million is going to go to climate change. So good for him. You know, they say that those guys hate each other. The guys in
Pink Floyd?
Yeah, that there will never be another Pink Floyd reunion because they hate each other.
After how many years?
A lot. Let's see, 69, 70,
wow.
A long time. And they probably don't need to do the work. If they're living off the mailbox money, I would imagine they probably do not have to do anything else for the rest of their time. Good for them.
That's what I'm doing.
I was going to say, on the other hand, here we are. You know, we don't need to do this, but here we are. I've got enough money sitting in wheelbarrows around the house that I really don't need to get up every morning and do anything, but I'm doing this for, I'm helping to fight climate change. Yes, that and climate change. All of the proceeds from this morning show will go to help benefit climate change.
There you go.
Or maybe they won't. If they could go to help battle Elizabeth Warren, that might be nice. She has now said that in addition to reparations for blacks, that we should be paying reparations to gay and lesbian couples now.
I saw that.
Yeah. Tax code, she says, was discriminatory against non-heterosexual married couples. Elizabeth Warren tweeted on Saturday, "It wasn't until marriage equality became law that gay and lesbian couples could jointly file tax returns so they paid more in taxes. Our government owes them more than $50 million for the years our discriminatory tax code left them out."
Let's find every which way we can to get on top of the Democratic presidential heap.
That's just it. They're stumbling over each other to figure out how much and to whom they can give money away. By the way, money that if I glance to my left, I see the U.S. national debt now stands at $22,403,141,140,50,60 in the 200,000. It's going up so fast I can't even count it.
That thing goes up about 5 million a minute, doesn't it?
Well, let's see.
Is it that fast?
Let's see. It's a lot. Wow. It's almost more than the money that we have in the wheelbarrow sitting around here.
It's about 150,000 a second.
Let's see.
Or more, right?
Let's see. Here's there starts one. Let's see, and there is 100,000 right there. So about 100,000 every 3-4 seconds.
God,
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and that's how much money we are in the hole, and yet we still they want to keep giving it away. The Refund Equality Act introduced last week would retroactively apply married filing jointly status, along with refunding the amount overpaid to same-sex couples who were married in states where such unions were recognized prior to the federal government doing so in 2013. This, of course, in addition to the reparations that we should pay Native Americans. This, in addition, of course, to the money that Bernie Sanders wants to forgive student loans. That's another biggie. It's and really this. I mean, all this is just fodder. This is just entertainment, really, if you think about it. Because until, let's see, was it Wednesday and Thursday this week?
Yes.
That the
Democrat,
the Democrat debates, they're splitting them up because they're going to be it's a must-see event, 2 nights.
We will be broadcasting that live.
That is going to be some entertainment, let me tell you.
Yeah, we start at 8:45 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night, and then of course the debates are 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. It looks like we've got Matt Locke, Dominic Izzo, Jeremy Hansen, Dylan Lyles, and Stephen Airy. We're going to broadcast that live on Mojo 50 TV, Mojo 50 Radio, and on both nights, actually.
So is it going to be, are they going to be, they're not all in the same room, are they?
No. We're going to bring them all in here on the video platform. Yeah.
Technology is a wonderful thing. So they will almost like Mystery Science Theater 3000, 2000.
Yes.
4000.
I think.
Whatever 1,000. All right, so they'll all be commenting on that if I
the play-by-play, if you will.
Right. Well, it should be interesting, and we have to find out if AOC is going to be. She's not going to be in the debates, but they say they're going to give her some time
beforehand. Yeah.
So that should be entertaining.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah. I mean, we got to give her credit. At least all of this stuff, like I said, this is purely entertainment until we get to the real race, which won't start until they've narrowed this whole thing down. Right now, it's just a circus.
Right.
It's a 3-ring circus. I mean, you can't name 6. You probably could name 6. Warren, Biden, Cory Booker, Buttigieg, and yeah. So, but you start getting into number 15, 16, and 17.
There are some obscure
18.
Names in this list, but
yes,
they're all going to get to be on the stage.
Yeah, and all Joe Biden really has to do is not stick his foot in his mouth. I mean, that's which for most people that seemed like a simple
fairly
task.
easy process.
But for him, it's going to be difficult. You can't go to a 7-Eleven without a slight Indian accent.
It's not that he won't put his foot in his mouth; it's how long he's going to chew on it.
Yes, how tasty he finds the foot. If he just takes a little, or if he's just going to suck that whole thing down. We'll see. What else is going on? Let's see. Her and this stuff is it's exhausting. It really is exhausting after a while. Oh, yeah, this is another one. Trans people, speaking of, have they been excluded from the world of dating?
What?
Yep. Yep. Welcome to 2019.
That's right.
This would be another
Pretty
Digging Up
much.
Dad. Dad, a few shovelfuls of dirt. And, hey, Dad, guess what? Now they're bitching that people who actually aren't the sex that they had the operation in, now they're bitching that they are not being fairly treated in the world of dating. Bury me.
Put me back in the box.
Back in the box. It was quiet. It was calm. It was peaceful. It was dark, cool, relaxing. So this is in a post from Psychology Today. Imagine for a moment that you were to find yourself looking for a new partner at some point in the near future, for whatever reason. Maybe you're just bored. Perhaps you turn to the popular dating app out there. There's several of them. You begin filling out your dating profile in hopes of finding the one. In the process of doing so, you'd likely be asked to include your gender and the genders of others that you would be interested in dating. Generally speaking, that's what happens. Under these hypothetical circumstances, which of the following people would you consider as a potential dating partner? Cisgender woman, cisgender man, transgender man, a person with a non-binary gender identification. And that is the question that was asked of 1,000 participants in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. 87.5% of the participants were asked the very same question. And what they're saying is that those people in the trans world are being excluded from dating sites. Dating is getting exhausting, let me tell you. I mean, which
for you,
for anybody. I mean, just the thought of this, just the thought of being in this big slippery slope of a pool.
Yeah. And so what you're saying is if they say they're looking for transgender men, there aren't enough swipe rights or swipe lefts or whatever it is?
You don't get to say. I mean, those boxes aren't
so
on.
They're not on
right.
there.
I mean, if you as a cisgender guy would only be able to say you're interested in dating a woman or a man. That's it. They've narrowed your choices. They are holding you down. You need to have some more. You need to be able to say, I want to date a transgender woman. That's the kind that ends up a woman, right? If you're a transgender
woman was a man.
Yeah. Okay. So, but if you want to date a transgender man, it was a woman. Or even a person with a non-binary gender identification, which means they just kind of float along, I guess. I don't even know what that means anymore. But they're all being peripheralized on the outskirts of the dating world. They say while only a small minority of cisgender heterosexual individuals were willing to date a trans person, a much greater percentage of individuals who identified as bisexual or queer provided inclusive responses. So you see that they're saying that the people who identified as bisexual or queer were much more open-armed. They'd date you, being a cisgender guy. Why wouldn't you date them? What's wrong with you? One reason for this may be that individuals with queer, bisexual, sexual orientations are already looking beyond gender in many ways when selecting a person to date. I get so confused. I think I'm old. I never thought I'd get to this point. The kids today, right? Kids. This also provides some promising insight, as it means that within certain demographic groups, acceptance seems to be much higher. If you look more closely at the patterns of responses, it also becomes clear that individuals were least likely to express an interest in dating trans women, even if their sexual identity would otherwise indicate an interest in women. So, even though you historically have been interested in women, you would not be interested in dating a transgender woman. Shame on you. Shame on you, Ron. Shame.
I'm thinking through this.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you're correct.
Mm-hmm. That, was it Rodney Carrington? I think I'm Dancing with a Man.
What?
Was it Rodney Carrington or Tim Wilson? Did I think I'm Dancing with a Man?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think I'm dancing with a man.
If you used to be a dude, I'm not interested.
Why? It's they're not a dude anymore. They're a woman.
What? How much of a woman?
How much of a woman you want? They've got it all. They've got you can check that box.
Does that make me gay?
That's a really good. See that is why. These questions, these
I'm
used to be
just
simple
curious.
questions. These used to be simple questions. They can no longer be answered in a simple yes or no format. It's just like the guys in Striking Vipers.
Yeah.
We've gotten so damn confusing.
Damn it.
I know.
Ask the jackholes. Does that make you gay if you are a cisgender man and you date a transgender woman?
Let's see.
Somebody's going to have an opinion.
Cougar Jackhole Diva just tweeted hashtag what I learned today. Make sure you use that one. This is a clear rule violation. Hashtag trans folks. Just because you can does not mean you should. I think it's your fault that you don't date, not mine. Okay. Spacky Duck still on Biden. Obviously, he has a thing for Joe Biden. Biden, in order to avoid putting his foot in his mouth, has been advised to spend the debate only nodding yes or no, and everyone thinks he might still have his toes in. That's a good point. You know, if you just occasionally nod and Lori F&D, I know someone else who hasn't been treated fairy. Well, I don't think we need to start name calling. Wow. Will you?
I think she meant fairly, Brad.
That's what you think.
Fairly.
Fairly in the dating world, but he can't listen today, right, Larky Farkin? Wow. By the way, thank you for the mug, Larky.
Yeah, we can't read that on the air.
Hey, C Muffin, why don't you climb in your douche canoe, cry me a river, and float the F away? Those almost made it in time for a Suspicious Package Friday, but not quite.
Sea muffin.
Sea muffin. And I don't mean the ocean. Homeward Bound Onion just tweeted that Real Brad Staggs needs to change his Twitter handle to Get Off My Lawn, damn it. I have. I've become...
Have you become that guy?
Well, when you start getting into this, we've just complicated the crap out of everything. It's exhausting getting up in the morning now. And especially if you're trying to date, it has to be doubly exhausting. Silver lining, they say, may be research that shows that social support from multiple sources can make up for deficiencies in other areas. For example, when individuals in same-sex relationships do not get support from their families, they're often able to turn to their friends to replace that support. Well, there's a big old...
Are they truly your friends?
Mountain of nothing.
Correct.
So, in history, if you haven't been able to get support from your family, you can turn to your friends. Good for them.
Yeah, because they're going to give you the best advice
Yes.
over your family. Just saying.
Uh-huh. So there you go. If you are a if you're cisgender, let me get this straight. Golly, if you're cisgender, you have an advantage, except for the fact that you're not allowed to express that you might want to date transgender. Match.com has some serious explaining to do. And all the rest of them, I'm just saying. You may have seen over the weekend, when did this come out? On Friday, the Facebook post that Mojo Wild Rice put up. They're going to be closing their store. I
think it was Friday night, yes.
Okay, so you probably saw that. They are not closing down the website. The website is not being closed. If you go to their website, you will find this note, a clarifying personal note to our fabulous customers. You may have seen our Facebook page with the news. We are shutting the doors of our wine and food retail shops in McGregor, Minnesota, sometime after Labor Day. This is due to a cancer diagnosis that Jay received a year ago. We will still maintain and ship our food products from our Ministalgia.com website, along with the others. The only items that may not be on it after Labor Day are the pepper jams and the beer jellies. We so greatly appreciate the outpouring of love we have received from everyone. God bless you all. So there you have it. Lori and Jay were down here not too long ago, and they've obviously, with the health issues and the other issues surrounding their office is up there. They've some flooding going on. There's just a lot of things, and obviously when you get a cancer diagnosis like that, I think your priorities start to turn to every day when you get up, you want to make sure you're making the most of the day. And so they have plans to do other things, and I applaud them for that. Mojo Wild Rice will continue. So if you want to support them and get some great stuff to eat at the same time, I'd recommend you go to mojowildrice.com. The grilling sampler pack for 2019 is still available. And if you use Grill 10, I would imagine it is still 10% off. At least that's the rumor. You can get all sorts of gift boxes. So if you've got any birthdays or any other events coming up this summer and you need to get a unique gift for somebody, check out everything that they have at mojowildrice.com. And you couldn't ask for nicer people. If you want to do business with really, truly nice people, show them a little love at their website, mojowildrice.com. It's always nice. I mean, it's like in the tool world. There are some tool companies that are, they make great tools, but they're real a-holes behind the scenes. And then there are other companies that make great tools, and they're really nice people behind the scenes. Milwaukee, Bosch, good people. I won't mention who the a-holes are just because probably call me yellow if I did.
Damn it. When you ask the jackholes the question,
they give you an answer.
Yes, they do.
CTG Fanatics LLC just tweeted, hashtag what I learned today. Ron, you would be a bone smoker. I don't even know how to respond to that. Is that like,
DMXDM says, yep, you like dudes, or you just don't care which parts go into which places.
If you're not as picky, you double your chances of getting a date on a Friday or Saturday night. I mean, there's all sorts of advantages to being gender fluid. Really are.
Big Pharma Steve. That was great.
If you have to ask if it makes you gay, then it makes you gay.
That's what I'm saying. There are so many. I mean, there's a lot of black and white sides of this story there. Not using that as a racial slur.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well that's just it. If you
I mean, look, if you're conservative, you see things black and white. If you're a Democrat, a liberal, then you're seeing things in gray, and it just is in gray. Apparently, things don't show up like they're supposed to. I don't.
This is really just it's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Sholva 8-1189. I wonder if I should ever try to figure out what that means. It's now a challenge to argue that you're entitled to multiple reparations, because I'm sure the jackholes would be great at this game. If you are a black gay couple who have been hurt by not being able to file jointly. Don't you? Wait a minute.
You're going to get lots of money, aren't you?
Penalized if you file jointly, don't you? It's the marriage penalty. The tax code is almost as complicated as the dating situation now. Isn't it called the marriage penalty when you file jointly? If you're married filing jointly, you get taxed more. Do you not?
Honestly, I don't know the answer to your question, but I think you're right.
Well, in that case, then.
I mean, there's still a standard deduction for everybody, but it's just, yeah.
It's, yeah. And just Peachy just tweeted, out of the dating pool, we've detected gender fluid. See? This is gender fluid. It's one of those. Get your tweets in and use the hashtag what I learned today to join the conversation, as it were. I'm surprised they are still letting this contest move forward. In California, the ugly dog contest, Scamp the Tramp won.
Oh, good Lord.
The let's see, when was this? This was it Friday? This took place so they buried their contest on a Friday night.
That dog is ugly.
But that dog, okay, he's first
probably,
of all, he's cute.
He's so ugly, he's cute.
All right, but how can you? I mean, is this not offensive to dogs? How can you be so callous toward their feelings? There's the dog that won, Scamp the Tramp. His winner, Darlene Wright, ugliest dog contest. I'm at the Sonoma Marin Fair in Petaluma. I mean, that dog is Puka. This dog looks like it's had a birth defect or something when it was born. Its nose is all messed up. There's a Pekingese.
There's whatever the hell
that dog is. I'm surprised that TT is not an attractive. What is it about all the ugly dogs too? Their tongues are hanging out.
Hangs out. Yeah,
their tongues are like too long for their mouths. But I'm surprised, seriously, I'm surprised that they can continue to have this. I'm surprised that there aren't more animal rights groups that haven't stepped up and said, look, you can't do this. This is not fair to the dogs.
This is exploitation
and trauma.
Of ugly dogs.
It's trauma that causes the dogs emotional trauma, and we cannot do this because that's the way we're heading. That's really Kerry Sanders. I guess he used to be with NBC. He's one of the judges at the Ugly Dog contest, and Rascal is a well, it's just an ugly dog, is what it is. I'm just stunned that there's another ugly dog with his tongue hanging out. Him is a boo. Him is a boo. Also known as Trump Dog. Well, see, they managed to get Trump in there at the same time. It's the hairdo. This world is strange. This is your Daily Mojo.
Promoting the 4Fs: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. Mojo 50.
Washington, D.C. is known as the Swamp, largely because of the federal corruption at play. But lately, the local city council is giving the feds a run for their money. It all surrounds the Metro Public Transportation System and Jack Evans, who serves on its board as well as being a member of the city council. Just how corrupt is Evans? Well, he was just raided by the FBI after a federal grand jury began looking into the use of his public office to benefit clients of his private consulting business. For instance, the parent company of Colonial Parking has been paying $50,000 a year to Evans, while magically Evans has been pressuring the Transportation System's Inspector General to go after rival company Last Parking. However, Evans' biggest indication of corruption came just about a year ago. He pushed the D.C. City Council to raise the city's fees on ride-sharing companies like Lyft, Uber, and Via from 1% to 6%. So that means on a $10 ride, the fee would now be a whopping 50 cents. Evans somehow managed to push that fee up from the originally proposed 4.75% tax earlier in 2018. All of this in an effort to boost a crumbling metro subway system that saw an average of 598,000 weekday riders in 2018, which was lower than the 612,000 in 2017, which was also lower than the 639,000 average in 2016. Oh, and that 639,000 is the same as what the metro was averaging back in the year 2000, when 1.5 million fewer people lived in the DC metro area. As for Evans, the law firm's investigative report found 16 different ethics violations just on the Transportation Board side alone. Up next for Evans, a DC City Council ethics probe on top of whatever the FBI raid leads to. Let's just say this isn't going to be a fun summer for Evans or anyone associated with him. I'm Andrew Coppins. This has been By the Numbers. You can follow me on the socials at The Coppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by Patriot Mobile, America's only conservative cell phone company offering super reliable nationwide service, donating a portion of their profits to organizations fighting for our conservative values. Call 1-800-A-PATRIOT or visit patriotmobile.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Wow, look at that. Lori F. indeed made it funny. Ugly dogs with tongues hanging out sounds like a hashtag Me Too rally. Remember that woman that got all over the guy at the thing at the place? Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
That's the picture. But the wild-eyed feminist, they got really triggered. What was that? That was some college demonstration. And it looked like her eyes were about to pop out of her eye sockets. Smirking Jackhole at Real Brad Staggs, Dr. Thompson Show, Mojo 50 Radio. If you preface something with the words "no homo," then it's not gay, right? Right? Isn't that what they were also saying that you shouldn't say about the Striking Vipers thing? That about the kiss, that was the big deal. That when they kissed, if they didn't feel anything, that was really close to no homo. I didn't realize that was a slam. Are you serious? Hold on a second, because if this is really...
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly. After last week, I got a lot of comments from football fans telling me, Juice, come on, fantasy, you got to draft a running back first.
Holy crap.
I would go along.
All right, whoever introduced O.J. Simpson to Twitter... No, I won't even say it.
Except in the case of Patrick Mahomes. Now, there was only one quarterback within 100 points of him last year.
So he's actually going to try
to stay away from the obvious?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not going to. He has said that that he will correct what he calls the BS out there. but he has said he's going to correct the things that have been said about him. And
you don't correct things that have been said about you on Twitter.
No. And look at the comments, because it was who just retweeted this. One of the jackholes. Let me see here. It says
the Twitterverse will crucify him.
The comments, it says, wow. Prime Meister responded to the video. And obviously he's just talking about fantasy football and this thing. But the responses to the tweet, hey, OJ, my girlfriend giving me problems. How should I handle this? Fred responded, you killed your wife. Rob responded, you're killing it on Twitter, Juice. God. Wow. Pistons
How
film
many
room.
followers does he have now, Brad?
Let's see.
What was it, 600,000 or?
He has
something that he had. I don't remember what he had before. I know it wasn't as many as we thought he would have. 65,000.
Oh no, he had a lot. Let's see here. He has a total of. Stand by. Talk amongst yourselves for just a moment. OJ Simpson. Let's see. The real OJ. Excuse me. The real OJ 32. He has 790,000 followers. And there you have it. But the responses to this, Shanklin Stab Possum replied to OJ, a friend and I took a stab at getting some roofing done. Had to cut our plan short when we found out that a local hardware store in Shanksville was slashing prices on their toolkits. 30% off felt like getting away with murder. He is... Here's the thing about I'll bet you the followers. I'm sure that there are some who believe that it is that he's innocent, that he was framed.
Oh, absolutely.
Man was holding him down.
It's the other 789,000.
That are following him simply because it's a train wreck. This is like watching a car crash in slow motion. Let's see. I try not to either way. I bet. Wow. Matt, not Matt Locke, but another Matt responded. I bet Nicole wanted to have a good weekend. It's wow. Now the question is,
if he was smart, he would not be even looking at the replies on his tweets.
If he was smart, he wouldn't be on Twitter.
Well,
his ego,
there is that.
His ego will not.
His ego won't let him not be on Twitter. But one of his publicists or one of his friends said, Juice, we got to get you on Twitter. This will be great.
Did Chant responded, please don't kill me. Getting even, laughing my ass. I was enjoying his posts. Thanks, OJ. I did. He's almost 3,000 replies to this. 3,600 retweets. 22,140, and the likes are going up by the second. And wow, this is a strange planet. Speaking of strange, Jim Henson has had he's been honored, I think is the proper word. He has been honored in science. Researchers have discovered, and this is on Florida's Cedar Key, a new species of egg-sucking sea slug, and they have named it in honor of Jim Henson of the Muppets.
Oh, I'm sure he appreciates this.
He's dead, so he doesn't care. Olea hensoni is the name of the sea slug. It belongs to a group of more than 300 species that are such enthusiastic eaters of plants that many of them turn green, and some of them even resemble leaves. A few species nicknamed solar-powered slugs have developed the ability to keep algae alive inside their bodies to photosynthesize their food for them, becoming a fusion of plant and animal. It must be the green part that they have done it.
Does it look like a Muppet? That's all I want to know.
No.
Is that why they named it after him?
It looks like a severed hand with I don't know. How would you describe that? A severed hand given the bird. If you turn it sideways, it looks like a hand flipping somebody off.
Now I cannot see the hand.
No, the hand is to the the fingers are on the right.
I see the hand.
Right.
I can't not see it.
Oh,
now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Once you see it, it does. It looks like a severed hand with feet. Given the bird, because you can see the feet on the left hand side. But it's an egg-sucking sea slug they have named in honor of Jim Henson. I guess it's because of the green color, because of the whole Kermit thing. So you know what? I mean, you have made it. Forget about all of the work you've done in the puppetry museum and the rest of that. You've made it when you have a sea slug named after you. That is reaching the pinnacle of success. The sentencing is happening this week for the little scumbag that drove over the woman in Charlottesville. What is his name? James Alex Field, 22 years old. It's been 2 years ago. 2 years ago that he, at that white nationalist rally, Virginia, killing one person, he injured dozens. He has asked a judge for mercy and a sentence shorter than life in prison. Well.
Now, did he drive into a group of people?
Yes. Yeah. He ended up killing, what is her name? Heather Heyer. He ended up killing her and injuring others that were protesting against the white nationalists. No amount of punishment imposed on James can repair the damage he caused to dozens of innocent people, but this court should find that retribution has limits. This is according to his attorney. They said in a sentencing memo submitted on Friday that the defendant should not spend his entire life in prison because of his age, a traumatic childhood, and a history of mental illness. Well, boo freaking who. He pleaded guilty to federal hate crimes in March. He will be sentenced this Friday. Prosecutors countered that the avowed anti-Semite and Adolf Hitler admirer has shown no remorse since he drove the car into the counter-demonstrators in 2017. Attorneys for Fields said that giving him something less than a life sentence would be akin to an expression of mercy and a conviction that no individual is wholly defined by their worst moments. Should he not get the...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the argument's not going to stand up, but
no,
okay.
No. And then there's the... just to lighten things up a bit, the girl with the ridiculously long tongue. Did you see the video of her?
I've seen this girl before, yeah.
I don't know. She... was this on Instagram? And I almost thought, okay, this has to be... this can't be real. This girl's tongue is... she can touch her nose with it. She can pull it out of her. Oh, that looks painful. She can pull it out of her mouth and actually touch her ear with the tip of her tongue. That, I know, the look on your face right now, Ron, is, and she's touching her eyelashes with her tongue. Now, you can imagine the comments that the video has received, but is she going to do more tricks?
Good Lord.
She can touch her elbow. You know what? Hold on a minute. Can you?
No.
You know what? You can't do it. Can you touch your elbow with your tongue? I never thought about that. You can't put your elbow in your ear. Oh no, you cannot touch your elbow with your tongue.
I cannot.
I'll be damned. Huh. Well, she can. She and the comments are
yeah, the comments are some you should not be
wow. Something about tailpipe is all that about all the and then there's this story. Let's see. No, not that one. That one's too depressing. This one is just bizarre. An Air Canada passenger said she was left alone on a freezing dark plane hours after the flight. Air Canada says it's reviewing how a passenger was abandoned on a cold, dark plane hours after it arrived in Toronto. The passenger called it a nightmare scenario and said she's been suffering from anxiety and night terrors ever since. She shared a post on her on Air Canada's Facebook page. Here's the weird part, though. The post that they put on Air Canada's Facebook page was shared by a friend. Tiffany Adams said she had a row to herself. There's something, and this is one of those that there's more to this story that we're going to find out.
There has to be. How do you miss?
Something ain't right.
Did they just not do a walkthrough of the plane after it landed?
Yeah, I mean, come on. They walk through.
They're walking through 15 times.
They're tightening up seatbelts and everything else. So no, they and I'm sure after the, I don't know if Timmy the pilot could probably tell us. Although no, he just has cargo. But I would imagine on a passenger flight, the last when they're ready to turn off the lights and turn everything off on the plane, I would imagine that you've got the maintenance crew and everything else. The post on their Facebook page says, another sleepless night for moi. Unfortunately, insomnia doesn't care that I work in the morning. First off, I must say I really appreciate the birthday love. A couple of days late. Thank you. I'd like to find out if anyone has been through this, because 10 days later, and I'm still a wreck, not handling my emotions very well, and welcome coping advice or techniques to calm my nerves. I had the most incredible time in Quebec with Deanna. That's her friend. Grateful for one of the best weekends. She said, I got myself super comfy reading a book. I scored my row all to myself. Flight was about a quarter full. I fell asleep probably less than halfway through my short hour-and-a-half flight. I wake up around midnight, a few hours after the flight landed, freezing cold, still strapped in my seat in complete darkness. I'm talking pitch black. As someone with an anxiety disorder, as is, I can tell you how terrifying this was. I think I'm having a bad dream, because I'm seriously, how is this happening? My phone lit up with missed messages, and of course I assured Dee I would text her when I landed in town, or in Toronto. I sent her a message just before midnight. There's something totally bogus.
Something's going on here, because number one, had that happened to me, I would have made the best out of that deal. I would have raided every liquor cabinet.
They would not. Did they lock that stuff overnight?
I would have popped open some slides. Had a great time.
Yeah. I would have seen. Can we make the masks fall from the ceiling? She said, I was overjoyed when I found a flashlight in the cockpit. Okay, dumbass, there's a flashlight on your phone.
There's more to the story, Brad. There has to be.
There is. Yeah, somebody is.
This doesn't just happen.
Somebody's making stuff up.
She must have put a blanket on herself and slid into the floor or something. Even then, I don't think.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah, and one of the responses to her post, I think, I'm thinking next time this woman decides to fly someplace, she should be mature enough to pay attention to your own life and surroundings. It's no one's job to wake you up. Be responsible. That's it. Yeah, there's not. Yeah, really, really sorry, but let's just say everything she's saying is true. That would mean that every single person working that flight didn't do their job. Yeah, they're not going to get out. This is bogus, and she's trying to get some free miles. That's all she's doing. We're going to find out that was absolutely untrue, at least in the way that that they put it across. If you want to be happy, and being Monday, who doesn't? There are some things you can do. They've come up with a list. They being psychologists, have come up with a list of things that happy people choose not to do. Number 1, don't dwell on setbacks or unpleasantness. Ruminating on negative thoughts crowds out space for positive thinking, while also creating grooves on our brain that allow negative thought processes to become the go-to track for our brains. I've heard that before, that if you constantly think negative thoughts, that eventually you train all the neurons in your brain, that they kind of get, literally, it's the don't make that face, your face will get stuck that way. Don't cross your eyes, they'll get stuck that way. That the same thing goes for your brain. If you constantly think about negative things, the neurons get stuck in that position. They say don't stress out when things don't go your way. Take a breath, consider your options, move forward. Stress and anxiety don't allow your brain to assess situations and generate elegant solutions. Don't waste time or energy on resentment or envy of other people's successes.
That's what I'm resentment of your successes, Brad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I should not waste time on that.
I can understand that. A lot of people feel that way. I mean, when they see, they drive by my house and they see the statuary and the fountains and the wheelbarrows full of money that I'm running. I filled up all the rooms in the house with stacks of hundies. I just don't know what to do. I mean, you see, it's It's too hot to burn them in the fireplace anymore. Don't waste time or energy on resentment. See, I just covered that one. Don't jump to conclusions if things don't turn out the way you want. That is called life about 50% of the time. Not in relationships, on the job, in life. Jumping to conclusions usually takes our thoughts to our less helpful and less healthy assessments and beliefs. Look deeper, reflect more, seek out more effective solutions. What was it? Seek out new life, new civilizations. Boldly go where no man has gone before. Don't catastrophize the complications or glitches you run into in life. No one's life runs like a well-oiled machine 100% of the time. It does if you're on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, I mean, look at all your friends. Look at how much fun they're having. Look at how perfect their families are. It's almost disgusting. When you turn the proverbial molehill into a mountain, all you've done is made your job harder, created more work for yourself, and more negative thinking to combat. Number 6, don't waste time trying to force a perfect life. Again, you don't have to force it if you're on Facebook. Life is perfect. When we learn to let go of the things that we just can't control, it frees up more energy to better shape the things in life that we can. And don't spend as much time worrying about your own petty problems as you spend engaged in healthy interaction with others. See, that's a problem when you just don't want to be around people like me. Really, all you have that keeps you warm at night.
Antisocial.
Right. I mean, all I have are the petty problems that I curl up with them. We sit on the couch together and just, rub noses.
In the South, we call that wallering.
Yes. Wallering. There's other things too. An outward focus is key to getting out of your own way in your ability to experience the happiness to be found in everyday living. Things that happy people choose to absolutely do: focus on what's going right in life. Be thankful for the good things. Give the brain time to reset every single day. Meditation gives our brains a chance to let go of negative thoughts and erase the damage that negative thinking can do. What time is your meditation time, Ron?
Let's see. I meditate never. I need to.
You never have quiet moments. You just sit
Oh no,
there
I force the quiet moments. I just don't meditate. I need to meditate.
They say meditation is erasing just think of nothing. It's hard to do it's like don't think about the pink elephant. Whatever you do not picture a pink elephant. And of course, the first thing your brain does is picture a pink elephant.
Yep, that's exactly what just happened, actually.
See? It's very hard to make your brain go blank. Debunk negative thoughts. When the brain is mired in negative thought patterns, you need to challenge these thoughts and test them against reality. You can control only so much in this world, but things like the weather, other people, climate change are beyond your reach. Thank you. It took psychologists to let us know this. Let go of negative thoughts and faulty thinking that get in the way of your well-being. Number 5, create a strong social support network. The value of this advice can't be overestimated, as every study on happiness points to the presence of a healthy support network as a key predictor of happiness, which is exactly what the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge is all about. See? You knew that there was happiness involved in there somewhere. If you go to the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge page on Facebook, you will find the Rich solution there. It's Gwen Rich who's leading the thing, and all of the people who are in the group. It really is. It's a support group. If you're trying to get rid of bad habits, I mean, even just a little bitty bad habit. If you what are some of the things they were saying? Cut out. If you can cut out just one bad habit, something simple. Oh, here's one. If you go to the refrigerator all the time and you're always seeing the food there, the stuff that's bad for you. One of a person online said, I gave my fridge a total makeover. I put fruits and veggies inside clear containers and put them at eye level. So that every time she opens the fridge, she sees the good stuff. It's little things like that that can give you a healthy lifestyle makeover, essentially. Again, it's the Rich Solution and the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge over on Facebook. Belongingness is essential once you develop your network or find your tribe. Be willing to work out differences, practice forgiveness, and stay engaged in relationships. Yeah, that's where I fail again. That requires commitment. Give and take with others is what cements relationships and enhances well-being. Remember that a burden shared is a burden halved. I think I might throw up on that one. I think I did. I threw up a little bit in my mouth. Ask for support when needed. Be willing to offer support in return. That's a Neil Diamond song, isn't it? You got to reach out your hand to the man up there because that's what he's there for. Big Pharma Steve just tweeted at Real Ron Phillips has his meditation time. It's called taking a couple of extra minutes on the pooper.
Dropping the kids off at the pool.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that one before. S.K. Thompson says you could just smoke weed all day.
There is that. Does that help?
I don't know. I've never tried doing it all day.
You can't do it all day if you don't start in the morning.
Isn't that the truth? Saddle effing tramp. If I had been left alone on a plane, that sucker would have looked like a pack of raccoons had raided it. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
I
would have had some extra blankets and pillows for the house. A bunch of small little liquor bottles.
Yeah.
Wrapped them all up in a nice big bow in a giant blanket and then jumped down the slide a few times.
Do those, seriously, do they lock like all the little cabinets and stuff at night when they get off the
I'm sure they do. I'm sure that they probably took them off.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Someone else being on the plane.
Right. Yeah, all those things are on wheels, aren't they? They just on and off.
She must have had headphones on, too. Couldn't hear any of that going on.
Yeah, this is such a bunch of crap. That did not happen. Air Canada hasn't responded yet, by the way. And S.K. Thompson also tweeted, crap, now I cannot listen to Mojo 5.0. So many reasons for that. Life 4th. So many words. Nice silence. Tried to... F in Florida, man. Remember that time Real Brad Staggs tried to lick his elbow and forgot he's on camera? I didn't forget. I just don't care.
Oh, no, there were a bunch of screen grabs.
Yeah. That's, you think that bothers me?
As a Photoshop contest waiting to happen.
Yeah, I do not, that does not bother me in the least. There are far more compromising images of me out there than that. Speaking of compromising, this is, do I want to get into that right now or do I want to wait? The president, should I wait? Yeah, because we don't really have time. We'll do this instead. They're calling now, we'll get to the president, the accusations of rape in the dressing room by the woman. We'll talk about that in the next hour. Over the weekend, I guess yesterday, at Dodger Stadium, a little girl was hit by a foul ball. So now they're calling for more of the netting to go up. Okay, and it's awful the little girl got hit in the head with a foul ball, but
what happened to every fan that's got a baseball glove?
Right, you
who
used to
dive for the pitches.
You used to hope that a foul ball came your way. That was the big deal.
Must have been hauling butt.
Well, it was. She was hospitalized for a test after being struck in the head by a foul ball off the bat of Cody Bellinger at Dodger Stadium. Spokesman for the Dodgers said the young woman who was sitting just beyond the protective netting that extends to the end of the visiting dugout was taken to hospital for precautionary reasons. In the immediate aftermath of the incident, she stayed in her seat with an ice pack on her forehead. The player went over to check on her between innings. The issue of protective netting and whether Major League Baseball should require clubs to extend it to the foul poles has been in the spotlight again this season after a young fan struck by a foul ball in Houston was hospitalized in May. Last year, a 79-year-old woman died after being hit in the head by a foul ball at Dodger Stadium. Okay, instead of basically making it nearly impossible for somebody who wants to catch a foul ball to catch a foul ball. How about you not allow people in that area who are concerned? Are you concerned about getting hit with a foul ball? Yes. Then you can't sit over here. Because foul balls is, let me check my history here. Foul balls have been foul balls since baseball was invented. This is crazy. They say Linda Goldblum struck August 25th last year, died 4 days later. LA County coroner listing her cause of death as acute intracranial hemorrhage and blunt force trauma. That's because she got hit by a baseball going very fast. Because you're at a baseball game where people are hitting a little baseball with a bat and making it go fast. If you're concerned, and it's horrible that a woman died, but if you're concerned about something like this, sit somewhere else or watch it at home.
I think I would probably create the rule that if you're under the age of 18, you can't sit in that area.
Well, this woman was 79, so you're going to have to do the same thing for
or over the age of 50. I mean, look at it. This was a little girl who wasn't watching the game, you can bet.
Right. Yeah, well, then, you know what? Hello, parents. That's your parents' responsibility. Hello. If you're going to do this, if you're going to sit at a baseball game, you have to assume that there is a risk, especially if you are sitting in the area where a lot of foul balls end up. You have to assume that's a possibility. And again, nobody is happy that this little girl got hit in the head, but man, it's how long before the lawsuit? How long before the Dodgers are hit with a lawsuit on this one? And then baseball ticket price, and I don't even go to baseball games, and this is not going to be fair to baseball fans. Well, I think we've successfully taken a dim view of the world this hour, haven't we? Although we talked about ways to be happy. Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Seeking to build an international coalition against Iran, Secretary of State Pompeo has arrived in Saudi Arabia. Pompeo says he'll be talking to officials of various Persian Gulf nations, as well as countries in Asia and Europe. And Pompeo isn't the only senior Trump administration official who's on the road.
Neither Iran nor any other hostile actor should mistake U.S. prudence and discretion for weakness.
That was National Security Advisor John Bolton speaking in Israel Sunday alongside Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. While President Trump called off airstrikes last week that he says Bolton was advocating, U.S. officials say he simultaneously gave the U.S. military a go-ahead for cyber attacks, targeting Iranian military computer systems that control its rocket and missile launchers. Meanwhile, Bolton says the economic pressure will continue.
We expect that the new sanctions President Trump referred to in preparation for some weeks will be announced publicly on Monday. Stay tuned.
Ben Thomas, Washington.
Violence flared again over the weekend in South Bend, Indiana, the city where Democrat presidential hopeful Pete Buttigieg is mayor. One person killed in a shooting, 10 others wounded in shootings in various spots. Later yesterday, Buttigieg faced criticism at a town hall meeting from citizens upset about the shooting of a black man by a white police officer a week ago. So how's the economy doing? We'll find out soon.
Economic reports ahead this week include updates on home prices and new home sales tomorrow, as well as the Conference Board releasing its Consumer Confidence Index for June, and FedEx will release its quarterly financial results.
That's correspondent Wally Hines. On Wall Street this morning, futures pointing to a higher open. Dow futures up 60 points. S&P futures 6 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details. details.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost all of the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org, m25m.org.
A former Democratic National Committee member told Politico on Monday that he will become National Senior Advisor to the Draft Beto campaign. That sounds like a horrible beer, probably a Pilsner.
The Defenders with Stephen Airy, tonight at 9. Mojo 50.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss. Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titties.
We wouldn't be so good. Mojo 50.
Mothership has landed.
Hey, Klopp just turned 40 yesterday. He's one of the jackholes in the MeWe chat room, and he's now says he is an official certified dirty old man. It gets worse, Klopp, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Let's see. Happy birthday, Klopp. Just trying to show the MeWe folks a little love. F in Florida man's right. At 7 Mile High, pilot needs to call in to give expert info on post-flight procedures. Yeah, Timmy, where are you? Where are you when we need you? By the way, also need to thank was it Larky F and Farkin for sending the mugs that almost got here in time for Suspicious Package Friday, but not quite. Thank you. Do appreciate that. Did I thank him last hour, Ron? I can't remember. See, that's the other problem. The memory,
yes, you did, because you read
memory is the first thing to go. What was the second thing?
No idea.
I don't either. I'm a whosoever. Just tweeted, there is nothing worse than foul balls. You know, again, this is low-hanging fruit. This is low-hanging fruit, and I'm just disappointed. If only Real Brad Staggs had a pilot in the audience who could answer certain questions about post-flight ops and galley construction. Plus, we need a weather update. And Shy Boy in Iowa says, hashtag what I learned today. Next is the requirement for fans to wear helmets at games. Bring back the reinforced drinking hats. Did Timmy catch the, whoa, what am I doing here? Hold on a second. Ron, why don't you just answer the phone, because apparently I'm unable to. Timmy, the pilot, is on the phone right now. He heard, it's like paging Dr. Bombay. Emergency, come right away. Timmy, how are you, sir?
Is this Chris? Is this Chris?
No, sorry. That was last week. Oh. You're 3 days late and $1.50 short.
Hey, are we on a secure line? I'm going to tell you what happened on that flight.
Yeah, absolutely. This is as secure as they get here on the banks of the Mojo River. So yeah, no one's listening, but you and me.
Okay, I think this is Brad now. Here's what happened, dude. The pilot and the co-pilot were banging this chick. Okay, she was up in the cockpit.
Okay,
I'm telling you, that's what happened. She was up there in the jump seat. Nobody could see her. So the pilots, she went back after they landed. And everybody got off the plane. She went back to the ladies' room to freshen up a little bit. And the pilots both looked at each other and ran out the door and locked it because she was nuts. She was one of them stalking girls. So that's how she wound up on the plane.
Wait a minute. Do pilots, do you have like a little, in the rodeo they call them buckle bunnies? Do you have?
Well, as long as we're on a secure line, I can confirm that they do.
Really?
Okay.
What?
I don't know. I don't know about the passenger planes, but us cargo plane pilots, we got secret for that stuff. I'm telling you what, buddy.
I don't. You know what? If they call them buckle bunnies in the rodeo, I don't want to know what they call them on cargo planes.
You don't want to know.
No, or on passenger planes either.
Hey, just a real quick traffic and weather
Yes.
sucks up here. Going to be a lot of tornadoes and thunderstorms. I'm headed down to Tampa again today, and Jen better have some sandwiches for me. And the traffic, I can't see the traffic, so good luck down there. Well, I got to get out of here. Bye.
Well, all right, bye. I think you know what the problem was, Ron. I had the mouse upside down, so every time I tried to go right. Boy, I don't feel like you've been drinking when you do that. Let's see here. Rocky Stucci tweeted, and then Cougar Jackhole David retweeted it. So apparently there's some parade stuff going on today. So to show my solidarity, I bought some rainbow sherbet. I'm gonna rip it apart. I like Rocky. That guy, Cougar Jackhole Diva, just said, I love you. Jackhole Angry Beaver, you're right. Banged in the cockpit and no bell. But see, no. Here's the thing. It has to be innuendo. That's not innuendo. That is outright, that's right there in your face.
USA Today just posted this. Young people's acceptance of LGBTQ people is slipping. Is a, quote, social crisis and discrimination next? Do we not see already a social crisis and discrimination?
I was going to say that it's already a social crisis. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you about Gunbox last hour. If you haven't gone to gunbox.com yet and looked at what they have, please do so. Make sure you use promo code Mojo50. You get 10% off. They're still sold out of the Echo. They need to shake the Echo tree and get a few more of those things falling down. Right now, you can get the 2.0. You can get that thing for $30 off. And when you go to checkout, that's when you have the option of getting the ring or the card. They've got several ways to open this thing. If you have not, if you have a gun and you don't have a little safe for next to your bed or anywhere else in your house for that matter, the gun box is amazing.
Yeah, it comes with 2 key fobs and 2 cards, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, literally, you just wave something over. You don't have to think about. I mean, you can if you want to because it has a keypad too and a fingerprint reader. But if you want to, I swear it's like magic. It is I've never seen another gun safe like it that you can wave something over the top of it and the thing opens up. So you can get into it in less than a second, really. Okay, maybe less than 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds. 2 seconds tops, you're into this thing. Thegunbox.com, and make sure you use promo code Mojo50, and you will you will not only keep your weapon safe, but be able to save some money at the same time. If you didn't hear the latest allegation in the parade that is known as the Trying to Impeach Trump 2020, he's now the president's denying that he sexually assaulted advice columnist E. Jean Carroll in the mid-1990s. It's funny that she would wait until now to mention this. I mean, to come out and
well, she's
say
writing
this.
a book.
Yeah, well,
That's
that.
the
I
thing.
mean, are you suggesting she is merely using this as a tool by which she can
Yes, and
promote
he calls it, he says her book is a work of fiction. It should be sold in the fiction section.
The article in, by the way, she said this happened in a Bergdorf Goodman dressing room 23 years ago. Let's see, is there a description? Yeah, here we go. This is the part that I love. By the way, the president, I mean, we'll hear his own words in a second. She is 75 now. She details the alleged assault in 4 pages, writing that she ran into Trump at the revolving door entrance of the high-end profile department store entrance sometimes during the fall of 1995 or spring of 96. She claims that he said to her, "Hey, you're that advice lady," and then asked her for advice on buying a present for a girl. She writes that after he dismissed several of her suggestions, the two ended up in the lingerie department. where Carol claims he asked her to try on a see-through bodysuit. Inside the dressing room, hello. First of all, does anybody see what's going on here? He asks her. First of all, they end up in the lingerie department, and she says nothing. She's like, okay, I'm here. Let's go. And then inside the dressing room, he asks her to try on it if in fact it did happen, and she's okay. And she then says, inside the dressing room, Carol alleges that Trump lunged at her, pushed her up against the wall, pressed his mouth on her lips, reached under her coat dress, and pulled down her tights. Good grief, that sounds exhausting. That sounds like so much work. In Carol's own words, she alleges the next moment, still wearing correct business attire, suit, tie, suit jacket, overcoat, he opens the overcoat, unzips his pants, and forcibly, forcing his fingers around my private area, he then thrusts his penis halfway or completely, I'm not certain, inside me. Turns out a colossal struggle. I am too frightened to panic. I'm wearing a pair of sturdy black patent leather 4-inch Barnes high heels. I try to stomp his foot. I try to push him off with my one free hand. For some reason, I keep holding my purse with the other. Well, you can't be too safe. I mean, what if he was trying to grab her purse? What if, in fact, he was merely trying to snatch her purse and run out of the dressing room? So, yeah, I can...
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what he was doing.
This just... it's... Okay. The president, in response, said the following.
This is a woman who's also accused other men of things, as you know. It is a totally false accusation. I think she was married, as I read, I have no idea who she is, but she was married to a actually nice guy, Johnson, a newscaster, standing with my coat on in a line. Give me a break.
The reporter, some reporter in the entourage there said, there's a photo of her with you. And the president responds, well, they're photos of the president with thousands of people. That doesn't prove anything. He continued.
But this was about many men, and I was one of the many men that she wrote about. It's a totally false accusation. I have absolutely no idea who she is. There's some picture where we're shaking hands. It looks like at some kind of event. I have my coat on. I have my wife standing next to me. And I didn't know her husband, but he was a newscaster. But I have no idea who she is. None whatsoever. It's a false accusation, and it's a disgrace.
Yeah. By the way, that's one of those videos where I think he might have dentures. It almost sounded like they were moving around a little bit. Here's the interesting thing about her, though. Jean Carroll apparently has ties. Hold on. If you're driving, you may want to pull over. If you are doing something delicate, perhaps working on a watch or something, you may want to put it down lest you lest you end up breaking it when you throw everything in the air. Apparently, she has ties to Lisa Bloom. Who's Lisa Bloom, you asked? She's the activist lawyer who has represented countless anti-Trump personalities in the past. There's a picture of her right there. There's a picture of her at a Democrat event in 2006. So by using that logic, this whole thing was trumped up. Sorry. I didn't, there was no pun there. This is just obviously another one of those. They're almost becoming comical. And again, if rape is wrong, obviously, if it were true, this would be shameful. But I don't know at this point how many people can actually believe that this is something that actually happened. How many can believe that this isn't the latest in a long line of accusations by, am I right, Ron? That's right. In a long line of just totally phony accusations. Ron, I know one of your favorite authors, Judith Krantz.
Oh, yeah.
Judith
You
Krantz.
know it.
She died.
What has she written, Brad?
She died. She
well, that's sad.
She died. She wrote Scruples, I know one of your favorite novels, and also Princess Daisy.
Both are my favorite.
I know. You, both of these likely on your nightstand. She was 91 when she died Saturday at her Bel Air home. Her son, who is a TV executive, confirmed her death by natural causes. She actually was a writer for Cosmo and Ladies' Home Journal before discovering when she was 50 that she had a knack for writing. I was going to say smut, but
are these aren't like adult?
Oh yeah,
are they really?
She was a romance novelist.
Well, yeah, romance novels are not necessarily adult.
Smut. Well, what happens in a romance novel?
Sex.
There you go.
All right.
That's it. Her first novel became a bestseller. She wrote 9 after that.
Are these the books that look like they've got
yes, Fabio.
Fabio on the front?
Fabio on the cover. Yeah. That's pretty much. She wrote, she says she made no apologies for the steamy novels with titles like Princess Daisy, Mistral's Daughter, Lovers, I'll Take Manhattan, and The Jewels of Tessa Kent.
And she spared no specifics when it came to sex.
That's right. She said if you're going to write a good erotic scene, you have to go into detail.
Oh, these are the precursors to the Gray books. What is it?
The 50 Shades of
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey. She says, I don't believe in thunder and lightning and fireworks exploding. I think people want to know what's happening. See, that's the problem when they did 3 Days of the Condor. The sex scene in that was absolutely horrible. And apparently at the time that when it was released, that's even what some of the reviews said. Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
The movie itself is good. Robert Redford and Faye Dunaway. And when they start going into the sex scene, it's that first of all, they had to collapse everything down because the book was, I guess, called 6 Days of the Condor. And so they had to collapse their relationship down. But they just, out of nowhere, he basically kidnaps her. And the next thing you know, they're having sex. But it's a bunch of close-ups of him kissing her neck, her looking at the camera oddly, and then cutting in between that and pictures of lonely benches and trees. It's really weird to the point where I went back and watched it again and thought, okay, is that what they're doing? I guess that's what they're doing. But it was a Sidney Pollack movie, and I guess he was trying to be artsy-fartsy with but then again, it was a simpler time. It was a simpler time, and we didn't come right out and just put everything right in the camera as we do now. Let's see, Lori FD. Notice how there are lots of women claiming false sex without proof with Trump, and Biden claiming Biden claiming no groping with photographic proof. That's true. It is a dichotomy. A lot of women saying they did it with him and they ain't no pictures of it, but Biden hasn't molested one single person. And yet we have all sorts of pictures. Mojo Riverfish, EJ Miller, wait, she writes sex and it's called romance novels, but Dear Penthouse is smut? Guys, we've been doing it wrong. See, women and, oh, look at there. Mike just joined us.
Hi, Brad.
Wow, did Ron tag out?
Yeah, he's done. He's over it.
That last headlock got him, didn't it? See, there is a difference between the way men and women look at, do I say smut or do I say romance novels?
Call it what it is.
Smut. Not that there's anything wrong with smut. I mean, it's, consenting adults, smut is fine. But there is definitely a difference in the way men and women look at, well, some women. Techru at Real Brad Staggs' home improvement book would have been far more successful if he'd included a few accusations against Donald Trump. And actually, I did. If you buy my book, Penny Pinching Home Improvement, you'll see where I was nailed by Donald Trump. Or is that one of these? It was really embarrassing. It was. It was in the workshop, and I asked if he would help hold one end of the board. And I said, back then I just called him Don. Don, can you hold up this end of the wood? And he said, sure. And then the next thing I know, he's got his arms around me. He's got me pinned up against the table saw. And I've had a hard. Thanks, Techru, for bringing that up. I can't talk about that right now. I can't. It's just too painful. I think we should just change the subject. Those $15 an hour workers, by the way, are kind of getting their comeuppance in Chicago. And if you remember, a couple of years ago, there was a phony story out that said that McDonald's was opening a robot, a restaurant opened, or rather operated completely by robots in Phoenix. Well, that turned out to be, I guess, kind of a bogus story. But they are really testing an automated drive-through system and robot fryers in Chicago. They are going to make it fast food production even faster. According to the Wall Street Journal, the chain is enlisting the help of voice-activated drive-thrus. Oh, that ought to go over well. I mean, you try to get Alexa to play a song. Alexa, order condoms. Yes. Did I get her? Damn it. You try to get Alexa to play a song, and half the time she doesn't recognize what song you want played. And if you have an accent, forget about it. But they're going to use voice-activated drive-thrus and behind-the-counter robotic deep fryers to boost production. Newspaper says the robot can toss... It can toss chicken, fish, and the Golden Arches iconic fries into the fryer. They are currently being used as the testing ground there in Chicago for the new technology that's it's aimed. Remember, this is McDonald's is saying this is aimed at decreasing wait times. This has nothing to do with taking down the cost of actually owning the restaurant. Now, with $15 an hour, how you're going to be able to sell a 99-cent cheeseburger is beyond me. Recent surveys showing a rise in the minimum wage, many fast food employees struggling to fill jobs. The Journal reports other chains also looking into automation as a way to bring quicker production to the workplace. You would think that with a $15 an hour wage that you would actually increase production because the workers are being compensated better. If you get a raise because you're doing a better job, you're helping to increase production. You're helping the business grow. So if in fact they are giving you a raise to $15 an hour, shouldn't things be getting faster? Doesn't that make sense? You look at me with Mike's just giving me the thumbs up. I'm not sure what he wants me to do with the thumb, but that's okay. But apparently things are a little different in the world of McDonald's. They have to they're having to train these robots to do the work that they will not be able to afford to pay $15 an hour for. Just saying. That is going to be the end result. And then what's going to happen? Huh? What's going to happen? I ask you.
So what do we do whenever AI takes over all means of production and
Skynet? We're all going to die. That's been the theme so far of the program this morning. Is it's all useless, and we might as well
just doesn't matter.
No, it just doesn't matter. Just give up, throw in the towel, forget about it. If you go on a vacation this year, have you considered going to Reykjavik, Iceland?
That was like number one on my list.
Well, I'm telling you, you know what? If yesterday it was about 9,000 degrees in Dallas, and I would have welcomed a quick jaunt to Iceland. The temperatures right now are in the mid-50s, and it is daylight anywhere from 20 to 21 hours a day right now in Iceland.
I feel like that would get kind of annoying after a while. Like,
no, I mean,
use a little nighttime.
You just if you want to go to sleep, you just go in and you close the blackout curtains and you put on the eye mask and you lay down. You can sleep whenever you want to, but I mean, you got 20. You talk about wanting enough hours in the day to get your stuff done. You got 21 hours a day to get it done in Iceland, and mid-50s, so you're not like burning up. mid-50s, a little chilly, but that'd be nice. Now, if you want to recreate actually the atmosphere of Iceland, you can get yourself a cat cooler. They don't. I don't even think they in Iceland do they even need cat coolers. I mean, it's Iceland after all.
But Greenland is one with ice. And
I know,
Iceland's one with green.
I know. Didn't they say, at least they taught us in history class, that they were trying to fool the people back then?
Yeah, it was like the Vikings were trying to fool someone.
Yeah, you don't want to, because everybody's going to, if you name it Greenland, everybody's going to go there. And if you name it Iceland, no one's going to want to go there. So they named the green place ice and the ice place green. I'm not sure if I'm still buying that one, but
I don't believe it either.
It makes for a good story. Cat coolers, on the other hand, they will, in fact, keep your ice cold. I said ice, not ass, ice. If you sit on them, they'll do that too. But if you go to catcoolers.com, use promo code Mojo50, you'll get 10% off your cat cooler, and you get it in any color of the rainbow as long as it's black, yellow, white, or camo. Which kind of encompasses all of the colors of the rainbow, doesn't it, if you think about it? Camo. Go to catcoolers.com and use promo code Mojo50. And by the way, the cat mugs are amazing. I don't know if you get 10% off or not on those, but these are the drinks. Oh, they hot, cold, but how do they know? Catcoolers.com.
A free exchange of ideas. Mojo 50.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Hi, this is Lee Colan with your Leadership Matters Minute. During family holidays at our house, a lot of people play ping pong. We love it. Over many games and tournaments, certain players dominated, and a clear trend tends to emerge every time we have this happen. The consistent winners use the full ping pong table to their advantage. They keep opponents moving, guessing, and kind of reacting to an array of shots in different directions and varying the ball speed and spins. So they're basically keeping their opponents on their toes. Like an inexperienced ping pong player, though, the uncertain leader plays it safe, hitting a gentle, predictable return to his competitors. And most leaders play it safe. So now's the time to play the full table. Don't restrict your strategies to the sure shots. While your competitors are playing it safe, now's the time to try new shots, explore the edges of the table. The goal of playing it safe is to survive, but the goal of playing the full table is to thrive and win. So let's play the full table and win. I'm Lee Colan, and this is your Leadership Matters Minute. For more tips and tools, text the word leadership to 444-999.
It is so funny listening to these people because they talk to the American people like they're stupid. And maybe, you know what, maybe the ignorance is that bad in America that they just take what these people say as gold. But here's the truth. Now, if you want to work with people and you want to make great deals with people and you want to benefit the American people, you don't have to pick winners and losers just because, you know what, we've had a history. You try to make things better. You are listening to Unleashed Jeremy Hansen on Mojo 50. Remember, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7.
Mojo 50. The Daily Mojo.
It always throws me off when that happens. You remember Dog the Bounty Hunter? Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah, oh yeah.
His wife, Beth Chapman, is she's been placed in a medically induced coma.
What happened?
She's battling throat cancer, apparently, and she was admitted to the intensive care unit at Queens Medical Center in Honolulu. She was placed in a medically induced coma. She has been battling that throat cancer since 2017. Statement from the Chapman family offered their sincere thanks to everybody for their prayers throughout Beth's battle with cancer, asked everyone to please pray for Beth.
She had ridiculously big boobs.
Yeah, she did. I wonder if that's not good when they resort to putting you in a medically induced coma.
Yeah, it sounds like it's too aggressive or something.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Meanwhile, across the pond, a union has defended a teacher after a pupil, quote, looking for trouble, end quote, said it was not scientifically possible to have more than two genders. Shame on that little boy. Shame on him. The boy, a 17-year-old boy, secretly filmed the moment that he was reprimanded by the teacher at a school in Aberdeenshire. Aberdeen. He is over in England. This is what the interchange of the teacher and the student sounded like.
I think it's silly to have anything other than two genders. So
Okay.
Anything else is a personal
Could you please keep that opinion to your own house?
Keep
your
that
own
house. Your own house. Get out of my house. Keep that opinion to your own house.
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Wow.
Not in the
So
school.
you get to put your opinion out in class, and my
No,
opinion.
I am not.
My
putting
opinion has to stay
I
inside
am
the
not
house.
putting my opinion. I am not putting my opinion out. I am stating what is national school authority policy.
I think it's strange, first of all, if this guy has such an odd-looking face. I mean, it looks like he was, he's almost featureless, so I'm not even sure what he's talking out of. Just an odd, almost like the Charlie Brown adults. Very strange.
Okay.
Well, it's not scientific whatsoever. You don't have to kick me out of class.
I'm
and
sorry,
waste 30 minutes of my time, where I could have been down revising, doing something else. Instead, I state something I believe in. You kick me out of class for 30 minutes. I'm waiting on the
Take this somewhere else. You can make an official complaint.
I'm not
Please
going to
do.
make an official complaint.
Why not?
I just think it's.
I know what you think, and I know what the authority thinks. I know what the authority's point of view.
Well, I know
it's very.
They have ways of making you talk and keep your opinions to yourself? Wow, this is starting to sound eerily familiar.
Clear, very clear that we make no discrimination on the grounds of various.
I wasn't making discrimination. I'm simply saying there are two genders, male and female.
Yeah.
Anything else is a personal identification.
It's starting to sound like a Three Stooges routine.
Teachers, leave them kids alone.
This is I'm telling you, it's just so weird.
Was that kid from the United States? He sounded like he was from the United States.
He did, actually, didn't he? Let's see here. In the video, the boy obviously can be heard saying, "I think it's silly to have anything other than two genders, sir." At least he was respectful. The teacher tells him he should keep his opinion to himself, reminds him that the school where the footage was shot is an inclusive school. Damn it. It's inclusive as long as you agree with what they say, is the part that he was missing there. It's inclusive as long as you follow the program. You will be included in the class, otherwise you shall step outside.
I will sink your ship.
Jeez, it's like a cartoon. What do you even do with this? The teacher told him you're entitled to your opinion. Doesn't say that the kid was. The boy has been reprimanded for posting the video without consent after it was shared online last Friday. The General Secretary of the Scottish Secondary Teachers Association. The General Secretary of the Scottish Secondary Teachers Association, Seamus Shearson.
Start over. Start over.
General Secretary of the Scottish Secondary Teachers Association, Seamus Shearson. That cannot be real. I say, Seamus, it's time for dinner. Seamus Shearson. This sounds like a youngster looking for trouble, he said, except he probably said it with a Scottish accent. Sounds like a youngster looking for trouble. This sounds like a youngster looking for trouble. You come into my classroom. You're looking for trouble. You start spouting off that sort of logic. What, are you crazy? By the way, have you ever heard Robin Williams' bit on golf?
Scots and golf.
Oh, my God, that's funny. That is the funny. You're going to hit it in a big hole? Hell no, it's going to be a tiny hole. A council spokesperson added which I find it ironic in the story they call a council spokesman. Shouldn't it be spokesperson? Added as part of our public sector equality duty. I swear I've been dropped in an alternate universe. This is... You've been punked. As part of our public sector equality duty, we aim to eliminate discrimination, harassment, and victimization, advance equality of opportunity between those who have protected characteristics and those who don't.
What's going to happen in the next, I guess, about 15 to 20 years? They're trying to separate the two terms, sex and gender. That's what they're trying to do.
Okay.
Sex, there's only two. Gender, they're trying to say, you could be a male or female. You can be this way. But they sexually are male or female. That's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to make them two separate terms. I know you're looking like that's just crazy. There's only two. But, yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
Why? I beg the
for
question
all
why.
inclusion for transgenders. That's what it is. That's what they're trying to do. They're not saying transsexuals. They're saying transgenders. That's
Right.
why.
Used to be transsexuals.
That didn't make sense because you can only be one or the other. Your brain just bled a little bit, I think.
I think it did. It's important to understand the context of any video clip taken without a person's consent. In our schools, fostering good relations among different groups can be a real challenge, but our aim is to support a fairer, inclusive environment for all. So there. This is, after a while, it really does. It makes you, I think it, in the meantime, apparently Richard Dreyfuss caused a little bit of a stir. He was on television on the One Show in Britain across the pond. He was discussing the new movie. I think it's called The Astronaut. It was just a piece of that interview.
The ending that we had. And I say to that, bullshit.
Okie dokes.
I mean, I don't take anything away from Stephen, but
Sorry about that little
I don't think there is
slippage.
another ending.
We're
not actually allowed to use that language.
So let's call attention to it.
It's fine. Don't worry. It's done. Onwards.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I'm more sorry than they are because I get to
He's
just
not that
go
sorry,
home.
means
They're going
everyone's
to get
gonna
fired.
Astronaut premieres at the end of
Yeah. All prim and proper, and Richard drops the BS bomb. Remember.
That's called bad hosting when you bring attention to it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. If they had just moved on and not said anything,
Nobody would have cared.
It would have not been a bit. But instead, they brought attention to it, in which case, in fact, people's attention was drawn straight to it. By the way, this is the they're calling the most dangerous week of Joe Biden's campaign because because of the debates. I mean, think about it.
Is it his public speaking that's about to go into effect?
Yes. This is they're calling the most high stakes week of his campaign so far. The first Democratic debate with the opportunity to solidify his frontrunner status or jeopardize the whole thing with a gaffe, an inappropriate joke, or maybe a tone-deaf comment.
I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen.
Yes. This is, they're saving him for the second night, right? He must be on during.
Yeah, him and Bernie are going to be on the second night. Yeah.
Oh, really? They're putting him. Oh, see, that's a mistake. Now you got to split. See, what they should have done, this should have been like the finals in basketball. So the winner, like you put Bernie on the first night and you put Biden on the second night, and then you take like the top four winners.
And go to round two, the next debate. Yep.
Round two, and then so on. I mean, why didn't they ask me? This would have been so much better and so much more entertaining and so much more effective had they done it that way.
They don't need all that brain in one room.
No, apparently not. They say the former vice president doesn't need to, this according to Bloomberg, doesn't need to win the debate. He just needs to not lose it. This was a lot like Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Still haven't learned their lesson.
No. She didn't need to win. She just needed to not lose. And she was able somehow to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It was amazing. 19 rivals are going to be on the stage Wednesday and Thursday. He's given them plenty of ammunition. Recent unforced errors, such as comments about his civil relationships with segregationist senators in the 70s, his flip-flop on federal abortion funding. The biggest risk and peril for Joe Biden is Joe Biden. This, according to a Democratic consultant based in Boston. He has a proclivity for making mistakes and for not apologizing. I'll give him that, though. He doesn't apologize. I mean, first of all, why would you apologize for saying that you, in the instance of the segregationists? I mean, you worked with them. You didn't say you espouse their ideas. And
it is what it is.
Yes, I can't. I'm sorry I worked with them. I don't understand exactly what he's supposed to apologize for. Looking them in the eye.
Just say you were wrong.
It's the whole thing is just getting just strange. But yeah, that's all that he has to do is not lose. If he can just manage to not lose, Biden will actually come out on the winner of the entire debate. And speaking of not losing, Bernie Sanders, his latest proposal now, eliminating all $1.6 trillion of student debt in the United States. That was what he is expected to announce today. That he will propose eliminating all of American student debt, according to a report. The proposal calls for the federal government to wipe clean the student debt held by 45 million Americans, including all private and graduate school debt. This is according to the Washington Post. Proposal package also includes making public universities, community colleges, and trade schools tuition-free. Let's give it all away. Why not? What the hell? And then let's forgive the debt because, again, the national debt, as I look to my left, is only $22,403,323,000,000. And remember, it was only $322 million earlier today. 300,000, 350, 60, 70, 80, 90, 400,000, 5. It's spinning around. It's almost on fire. It's spinning around so fast.
It's so bad. Why not just add more to it?
That's kind of the...
You might as well just make the tuition free. That number is just going to keep getting worse.
Apparently, it doesn't mean... That number means nothing to anyone anymore. Republicans, Democrats, nobody. They never even mention it. Never even mention it.
It's so god-awful.
It's just... It's bizarre. Again, we're in the upside down.
How much was the debt, say, pre-9/11?
Let's see. Let's find out. National debt in the year 2000. In the year 2000. 2000. Let's see here. If I can find that quickly or not. If this is right, on this day in the year 2000, the national debt was $5 trillion.
Wow. Well, I guess that's
only 17. We're only 17 trillion more. What do you?
It's less than $1 trillion a year,
right? Come on. What do you expect for nothing? $1 trillion, and a trillion again. We've been conditioned to think of $1 trillion as it's just a billion with a T. That's all it is. It's not all that. It's not all that bad. It's just $1 trillion.
Do you ever see that debt getting paid?
Wait a second, that can't be right. That couldn't have been $5 trillion. They say the national debt in the year 2000 was five. No, I guess it was. Yeah, 5.6. 5.6 trillion. Do I say what now?
Do you ever see that debt getting erased?
No. I don't know how is it possible.
So then just make tuition free.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. You might as well. We might as well just make everything free. Why? Yeah. It's not possible to. I just don't see any possible way of paying down that debt.
I don't understand how I owe maybe 20 grand all debts, right? And which is such a minuscule number compared to that. But if I don't pay it, I can't buy anything new.
Right.
But somehow
yes,
they can just keep going.
Yeah, it's really stunning, isn't it? I know. They can just get spinning that sucker around. Yeah, let's see. Smacking Duck just tweeted, I look forward to my $20,000 check reimbursing me for the student loans I worked to pay off. Yeah, the fact that there are some people who've paid them off, some people who are still paying them off. I heard the story the other day of somebody who's even 30 years later still paying off student debt, which is, I
can break down my student loan repayment right now, and I pay about $160 a month for my student loans. Every day, there's $2.80 of interest that gets tacked back on.
Wow. Yeah, and it's hard. Anybody with a credit card knows you watch interest just, man, it racks that debt. It's so hard to get out of debt in that sense.
It's outrageous.
Was your student loan, has it paid off? Look where you are today. Look where you are today. Come on.
I'm living the dream.
Aren't you? I mean, look at this. I look around you. Have you stopped to look around and say, wow, where am I? Yes, I made it. Yes. How many can say they're standing on the banks of the beautiful Mojo River in beautiful downtown city, Haltom, Texas?
Always a dream as a young boy.
Oh, I mean, how many times did I write that on a piece of paper and put it in a bottle, throw it out to sea?
I'm going to drown myself in whiskey later.
Why wait? There's whiskey in here. Just grab some. See, F in Florida man. So if the Army paid my tuition in return for years of service, can I get a check for the tuition adjusted for interest and inflation? Maybe. That's as reasonable to ask as anything else.
The worst they could say is no.
Yeah. Remember, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Right? And other cliches. Mojo Jedi, can I get reparations for the trade school I went to in the 80s? Possibly. I mean, it is a kindler, gentler nation now, and if we are going to talk about reparations and free tuition, why don't we just make food free? Food should be free. Theme parks, in Star Trek they don't have money. I mean, remember in Star Trek 4, he was like, they were at the pizza place, and she's like, let me guess, you don't have money in the future, and he says, oh, we don't. Okay. There we go.
Well, that's whenever we were talking about AI, whenever it takes control of all production and services,
yeah,
how are you going to pay the middle class?
See?
What are they going to have to do?
Nothing.
Eventually, money is just going to be useless.
Lay on the beach.
That's
all you got to do. I mean, and really, why shouldn't that be life? Really, why shouldn't we not just be able to do what we want to do every day, not have to work?
The American dream.
Yes. I mean, isn't that the American dream, to make enough money to be able to not work and just to hang out and, wasn't it Hillary Clinton who said that it would be a better world if we just had, when you're unemployed, you have more time for your hobbies?
God, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to know what my hobbies are, but, it'd be, I think
lots of Pornhub.com.
Cheetos sales would go through the roof. Let's see here. Sanders reportedly plans to pay for the proposal with a tax on Wall Street. Well, of course. I mean, will you think he's going to go tax the ghetto? No, that'd be stupid. That's why they don't write tickets in bad parts of town.
What do you think of corporate taxes?
Corporate taxes are just paid down to, or just passed down to the consumer. So it ends up being a tax on the consumer.
Eventually, anyway. So it doesn't matter.
No. I mean,
in other words, we're screwed.
Money, yeah. I mean, money will always. Have you ever heard the theory that if you take the money away from everybody right now and then distribute it equally, the people who had a lot of money before will have a lot of money again? They have the skill set that allows them to make money. Some people are born with different skills.
And we don't have that skill.
No, but look what we do have. We have each other. That's far more important than love, or that far more important than money could ever possibly be. The tax on Wall Street will generate more than $2 trillion over 10 years. It would focus on financial transactions, such as a 0.5% tax on stock transactions and a 0.1% tax on bonds. And he will, and Ilhan Omar this week will introduce legislation in the House to eliminate all student debt in the United States. They'll be joined by Representative Pramila Jayapal, the co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Give it all away. Give it all away. This is truly a revolutionary proposal, according to Sanders, he said in a statement. In a generation hard hit by the Wall Street crash of 2008, it forgives all student debt and ends the absurdity of sentencing an entire generation to a lifetime of debt for the crime of getting a college education. He left off the part of which you may or may not need. I just don't. Why do you have a degree?
Associates
in
the arts, and then audio certification.
We'll see. You're using it.
I'm using it.
Are you using your ears right now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Then there you go. Can you certify our audio right now?
Yeah, I can.
There you go. See, your degree paid off.
Not yet, but it's getting there.
Oh, come on. Don't be such a pessimist. It's paying off right now. See, the problem with college was after about a semester, I went, man, there's so much work. So many words that you have to write and read every day. It was exhausting, quite frankly. I thought, you know what?
Those core classes alone are just terrible.
I know.
All the histories, the Englishes, the statistics.
And I made the mistake of thinking I would take accounting because a friend of mine was in accounting. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
How old were you? 18 and stupid?
I was, I was 19 at that time.
Yeah,
and I was like, I think I was trying to find my way in the world. And I, for whatever reason, thought it would be a grand idea to take at least one accounting course.
You poor man.
I still think I have a traumatic brain injury from that. It just was not. It was not kind at all. And yeah, somehow I came about my senses. If you haven't been to Combat Flip-Flops yet, please do so at some point today. This is something you can do that is good for the world and good for your feet. If once you go there, Combat Flip-Flops, you will find out that they sell, of all things, flip-flops. They sell the men's Flopperator Coyote, the men's Flopperator Multicam, the women's Flopperator in black. Oh, they're on sale too. They're only $20. If you use Mojo 25, all right, did I get that right? That's what I'm going with. Mojo 25. You will get some money off right there, and you will also actually be helping out society in this, because what they've done, they've taken literally combat boot factories in Afghanistan. These guys, they're amazing. I mean, really, truly, what they have done. These are all veterans that own this company, and they've taken combat boot factory and turned it into a factory that creates these flip-flops and other products. And the aim of it is to take a war-torn area and essentially turn these people into entrepreneurs. So they go to work every day. They also, when you buy a pair of flip-flops, they pay for the education of an Afghan woman. And in turn, see, what they're trying to do is break the cycle. The kids over there, if you have the uneducated women and you have the kids, and then you got the guys who are obviously, dominant in that society,
the alpha,
they start teaching the kids the hatred and the war and all the bad stuff. You get the women educated, and they start teaching the kids about better stuff. That's in a nutshell, that's it. I mean, simplified to its lowest level, that's it. Educate the people, and hopefully we will spread some peace around the world. It is, I think it's a great idea.
It's all about changing the culture.
Yeah. And if you can do one, if you're going to be wearing some flip-flops anyway this summer, might as well do some good at the same time, right? Go to combatflipflops.com, try the promo code Mojo25, see what happens. I think you get a free unicorn. I mean, what other place can you go and get a free unicorn?
A free My Little Pony?
Why not? I mean, if changing the world isn't good enough, if you want a damn free unicorn, you'll get a free unicorn. For crying out loud. Brian Keith just tweeted, I have a worse brain injury than at Real Brad Staggs since I became an accountant. Numbers hard. Numbers so hard.
And you have to deal with people's money, and they yell at you when you don't do right with their savings.
I don't know why anybody would want to be an accountant.
401ks, Roth IRAs.
What kind of a masochist wants to deal with numbers on a day-to-day basis? That is just torture. Let's see, CTG Fanatics LLC. What I learned today. Hey, use that hashtag, please, so we can find you. Bernie theme song for the debates should be the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Yep. Really, I mean, if you start to think about it, what is the main difference between any of these candidates? And we won't know until, I mean, this is all entertainment until Wednesday and Thursday when they get down seriously, when they start culling the group. But
kumbaya, victimization, and equality.
And how much can we give away? I mean, there's nothing left to give away. Nothing. If it's all going to be free, we're going to be, not only is it going to be free, you're going to get rebates if you were black or gay and married, which I still think there's something wrong there, because I'm pretty sure that if you were married filing jointly, you get screwed on the taxes anyway. The marriage penalty. Am I wrong? I don't like to think about taxes. They hurt my head. Rule number 5, jackhole. Yeah, no more student debt. Wait, why are my taxes so high? Yeah. And that's the thing. This is all fine and dandy until somebody starts losing money. And who is going to pay for any of this? Again, does it really matter? Does it really? I mean,
it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. I don't even know why I'm wasting breath on this. Smacking Duck, a college degree loses all value if everybody has one. Absolutely correct. And honestly, in this business, in communications, and I've told this story before, when we had a production company in Nashville, one of our associate producers had a master's degree in either film production or broadcasting, one of the two. A master's degree.
The best thing you can do with that is teach, right?
I guess. And I'm not really sure what you teach about. If this business is, and I'm sure that a lot of businesses are this way, it's brutal, and it's more about who you know than what you know. It's what you know that keeps you where you are once you get where you're going by who you know. That makes sense?
No.
It's a business of association. And I would imagine that's the same with a lot of businesses. It's about finding the right connections. It's about relationships. And if you can do that, you can climb your little way up the success ladder. I mean, again, look around you. Come on, Mike. Look around. This is nirvana. This is paradise.
This is the pinnacle.
It doesn't get any higher. I mean, you can see everything from here. If you climb up on the roof, you can see the entire universe.
You can see AT&T Stadium.
Yes, you can. But watch out for the foul balls. Actually, that'd be football, but that's close. Yeah, this is it's a crazy, wacky, mixed-up world, and I say everything should be free, even ice cream. Now, that would be perfection, wouldn't it? We've covered so many problems this morning. I'm not sure we have any left to cover, but we'll give it a shot.
Happy Monday.
Yeah, really? Right. It is Monday all day long on your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. When it comes to Iran, Secretary of State Pompeo says the United States prefers dialogue to confrontation.
We're prepared to negotiate with no preconditions. They know precisely how to find us. And I am confident that at the very moment they're ready to truly engage with us, we'll be able to begin these conversations. I'm looking forward to that day. The president said repeatedly we want a brighter future for the people of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Those negotiations are the gateway. That's how we'll ultimately achieve this.
Pompeo is now in Saudi Arabia. It's his first stop on a visit to a number of countries in the Persian Gulf region and beyond. In retaliation for the downing of a U.S. Navy drone last week, fresh U.S. sanctions on Iran are to take effect today. Well, there's a new man in charge at the Pentagon.
Morning, sir. What's the first order of business? Morning.
Acting Defense Secretary Mark Esper greeted by reporters this morning as he showed up for his first day on the job. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating Friday's crash of a skydiving plane in Hawaii. 11 people were killed.
We're here to determine how this happened, why it happened, so we can determine what safety measures are needed to prevent it from happening again.
NTSB member Jennifer Homendy. A meeting later in the week could go a long way toward resolving the U.S.-China trade standoff.
The G20 meeting in Osaka, Japan is going to be an opportunity for Chinese President Xi Jinping and U.S. President Donald Trump to meet and maybe hash out some of the issues that are dividing them along the lines of trade and technology.
That's correspondent Christopher Bodine in Beijing. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures pointing to a higher open in about a half hour. Right now, Dow futures up 65 points. S&P futures 6 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Having an extra supply of food on hand is just smart. Some people call it prepping. I call it smart. You never know what's going to happen in this world. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. You'll find out a lot of good reasons to have that food and some great prices. mypatriotsupply.com.
Going from A to B may involve X, Y, and Z. Off Track with Whiskey 6, Sundays from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern from Mojo 50.
Rates based on a man age 42 with no tobacco use of any form for 20 years. Policy number 25. Policy underwritten by various life insurance companies. Premium includes a $50 policy fee. Rates and underwriting criteria subject to change at any time. Not available in some states.
You've heard those term life insurance ads with their rates read very low, and at the end they have a long disclaimer read extremely fast. Why? Because most people like us will never qualify for those rates. It's just a way to get you to call. Listen, at the Term Lifeline, we'll never quote you a low rate hoping you'll call, then try to sell you something else. But we do promise to get you the best rates available on policies of $500,000 or more with professional service. Don't waste your valuable time. Get the real rates you want on term life insurance policies of $500,000 or more from the Term Lifeline. Call now.
866-521-TERM. 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 That's 866-521-8376.
This is the Mojo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches.
The mothership has landed.
Klopp over in the MeWe chat room says, I went to community college for radio. Complete waste of time. Not if you met a few people. I'm telling you, it's all about who you meet. And I guarantee you, I think you probably paid less. I think I paid $2,000 for broadcasting school. I mean, and again, $2,000 investment, and look at all that. I mean, it's millions of dollars surrounded for the mere investment of $2,000. Come on. 7 Mile High pilot in the MeWe chat room. I want to go back to college to learn basket weaving. It'll be more productive. Well, there's that. There's that. And over on the Twitter, Big Pharma Steve, sure climb up on the roof at Mojo 50. You can see the entire universe. However, you go for a jog and evidently you can no longer see an effing Amtrak. Well, we're just not allowed to wear headphones on the roof of the Mojo 50 studio building. Much like the CN Tower up in Canada, it's a very tall building that we are in here in Haltom City, Texas. I mean, it's breathtaking. We do have the glass floor on portions of the roof here at the Mojo 50 building.
I've never seen that.
Oh, it's amazing. It's when you look down, I mean, the cars look like ants. It's impressive. If you look again over through the glass floor on the roof of the Mojo 50 building, you can see the salmon swimming through the river. I mean, it's really kind of cool because you see them right there below the surface. It's really incredible. Not as incredible as and this video is rather creepy. A woman who was swimming off the coast of Florida. She had no idea that she was being watched. She was being watched by what apparently was a shark. And a guy in I think it was the 21st floor of this hotel was videotaping the whole thing. And you can see her swimming out of the ocean, and you kind of see behind her this shadowy form. And first they think it could be a manta ray.
Whatever, just almost right under.
And this thing is very, very close to her. And they swim along, and this goes on for just a couple of minutes. It really, I mean, all they need is the Jaws music underneath this thing, because this, what did in fact turn out to be a shark, is swimming all around her. She had no idea this thing was down there. That
is it. The one just above her? Oh,
yes,
wow! Yeah.
Yes. Now you see the shark, right? And if she is 6 feet, well, let's say she's, I don't know, let's say she's 5 feet tall. That's probably what a
big ass shark. That's what
12, 14 foot maybe, if you account for it being a little farther away than she is, and still looking longer. And this thing is, again, remember when we are flip-flopping around out there in the water in the shark's environment, they're thinking,
And he's circling her.
Lunch, yes. And again, she had no idea.
Oh, my God.
That this thing was out there. That's my biggest fear, is that if again, the water doesn't scare me. You don't scare me, water. I'm not afraid of you.
I hate going out like too far out into the ocean.
Yes.
I start getting like weird vibes.
Because you can't see what's below you. And then especially if something like brushes your leg, and look at this, and then the shark kind of swings around.
Oh, he's going to take her.
And it's
head to head.
No, she's swimming the other way now.
Oh, and people are yelling,
people
too.
are yelling at her, which is probably the worst thing you can do, because A, you're not going to outrun the shark.
No, and then if you start flipping out, the shark gets more excited.
Right, yeah. So this woman had an now she's on her way.
I see a little brown behind her. I think she, took a crap.
That would have been me. That was in Panama City, too. I mean, the sharks are coming closer. Apparently, food for sharks getting harder and harder to find out there in the ocean. You know, if we just made it free for them, it might be a little easier. But they said that people at the beach, they started to take notice. They shouted to her, telling her there was a shark nearby. This prompted the woman to get back to shore. The shark followed her, but eventually turned the other direction, swam away. Wow. Never saw it, she said. I think I'm done with the ocean. Yeah, I think I would be too at that point. Let's see here. Oh. Then there's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She, I got to give her this. She's not backing down. She is not backing down. After she called the detention centers concentration camps, new report has highlighted the bleak conditions at holding centers. New York Congresswoman's remarks were criticized by conservatives such as Representative Liz Cheney, Lindsey Graham, Steve King. Hey, y'all. King, an Iowa Republican, been at the center of several controversies involving white nationalist rhetoric, of course. He tweeted at her, this is Steve King at AOC, I went to Auschwitz and Birkenau with Eddie Mossberg and Johnny Daniels with In the Depths. I went with a deep understanding of the Shoah and a profound personal experience. Please accept their offer. And apparently they want to tour. They want her to tour the concentration camps with them. She wasted no time. She says, Mr. King, the Republican Party literally stripped you of your congressional committee assignments because you were too racist even for them. She basically turned down the offer to tour the I'm going to have to decline your invite, but thank you for revealing to all how transparently the far right manipulates these moments for political gain. She's good at slipping right out. She's done
I'm not.
Yeah, see, a lot of people in her position, it would be like a Venus flytrap. They'd be all Joe Biden on that thing. They'd be all stuck to it, and she just she can just slide out. She is probably made a lot like Bill Clinton of Teflon. She's able to extricate herself from just about any situation. You got to give her credit for that. She's not backing down. I was deciding whether or not to do this story. By the way, I'm drinking APR coffee this morning. It's very good. And
flavor?
Again, it is the Cartel Bold.
Ah.
Quite tasty, actually. And I poured this almost.
I thought only Matt drinks that one.
No. Well, see, my option was this or the Doc Thompson Uranus Hertz blend. And that's a little spicy for me. So I went with the Cartel Bold. It's very good. And it's because of the cat mug that I've got it in. It's been hot now for 4 hours. That's pretty amazing when a mug can keep it that cold that long. Yeah, I'll do it. Louis Massotti, he loved to play golf, competed at a professional level many years. He was in charity games. He went to a cruise vacation. This was just last year. Got on the Harmony of the Seas with his wife, Judith. It's a Royal Caribbean ship. They were all set to go to Cozumel, and apparently he had to wear a catheter and what's it called? The urinary drainage bag. He'd been using it for 5 months, and they decided he was going to go on this cruise. Let me just say, that right there is my idea of a living hell. Having to have a catheter a day. Oh, that's
one time I actually had kidney failure, and I was in the hospital for 3 days, and they were telling me I have to pee, and I was like, nah, I don't feel the urge to go. And so then after about 2 days, they came in with a catheter, and they're like, so we're gonna have to insert this catheter. I was like, you know what? I think I have to pee now. And they're like, oh, okay, go ahead.
I mean, I just can't even imagine and they say that it doesn't hurt so much going in as it does coming out. So anyway, he got on board the ship on I guess he got on the 21st, and then he on the 23rd, he had to check himself into the medical bay because he was having trouble reinserting the catheter while he's on the ship. So the primary doctor's advice went to the ship's medical staff for help. The doctor on board inserted the catheter, and according to his wife, they drew only blood. Oh,
he put it in wrong?
I guess. 5 months that he'd been self-inserting, they said not once had there ever been any blood. I asked the doctor what was going on. The doctor said there must be blood in his bladder, and he'd come back at 4 when the bay reopened. Come back at 4? Really?
Was something shoved in my penis?
Oh, they went back to their suite, but by noon, he was delirious and shaking in his lounge chair. The steward had to help him onto the couch, cover him with blankets to try to ease the trembling. By 3:30, they say he couldn't wait any longer. She had someone help her take him to the med bay, where they waited a half hour for a nurse to arrive. Okay, they're on a ship. How far away could the damn nurse be? And wouldn't this be considered an emergency?
She wasn't clocked in, bro.
Right. I had to walk all the way to her cabin to get her. The nurse was shocked because the bag from earlier was full of blood. They replaced the bag, took diagnostics, but they eventually sent him back to the suite to stay the night. He could not eat or sleep that night. By 6 a.m. the next day, his wife rushed him back to the bay in a wheelchair. He could no longer walk. Bag filled with blood again. Fading in and out of lucidity, doctors would later tell them that Lewis was suffering from sepsis and severe dehydration from not being able to drain his bladder. Wow, that sounds like a contradiction in terms.
So, no, that means then that they improperly inserted the catheter.
But how do you suffer severe dehydration from not being able to? I'm sure there's some medical. The human body is a strange machine. Yeah. Doctors in the medical bay took Lewis vitals, asked Judith if she had bought trip insurance. Odd question.
Oh, crap. I forgot.
Right. I didn't know someone was going to insert the catheter the wrong. Although I will have to say, I'm not sure if being in that condition, if I would get on a cruise, knowing there was a chance. I'm not. Let's. Trying to think of what else would even be on par with having to wear a catheter every day.
Colostomy bag.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, she rushed back to her suite to get the paperwork, so apparently they did buy it. On their way there, she heard an announcement over the PA system asking for blood donors with O-negative blood. And yeah, they were looking for blood donors for her husband. So she runs back to find her husband with his mouth hanging open, doctors saying they had to get him to a Mexican hospital. This is a nightmare. Several hours later, he was transported to Costa Med, a hospital in Cozumel. Ever been to Cozumel?
No, nowhere in Mexico, actually. I've never been.
Interesting little place. I'm not sure I would want to be hospitalized there. Drinking tequila, yes. Hospitalized, not so much.
How about hospitalized after drinking tequila?
I don't think I'd care at that point. Doctors ordered a CAT scan. They found that the catheter, the one that the Royal Caribbean doctor had inserted, had never reached the bladder. Holy cannolis, it punctured the urethra on the way in. Oh!
Just take the whole thing off. You can have it.
Yes. Says they finally punctured his bladder to drain it. He was able to actually urinate. There was no blood found. Months of rehabilitation. He's now walking with a cane, something the doctors and Judith weren't sure he'd be able to do. He can't fly anymore. See, this is the problem with cruises. Everybody's love cruises. I love going on a cruise. No, this is nightmare scenario.
Did he sue the cruise line?
Doctors, let's see it. Well, yes, actually they did. Well, you knew money had to be at the basis of it somewhere. And actually, probably get off cheap here. Massaudis say they sent Royal Caribbean a pre-suit demand for $750,000, which the cruise line did not respond to in writing. Spokesperson for the Royal Caribbean line cited the pending litigation for declining to comment for the story. They're also suing the cruise line for loss of consortium because she and her husband of 31 years can no longer have sex. Oh, are they?
Do they have sex with the catheter on?
Yeah.
Do we line it in like a fishing reel and then?
Wow. He's 85 years old. If they were doing it, good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them.
I'm proud of you.
Really? No kidding. In the past, cruise passengers have not been able to sue for loss of consortium caused by onboard accidents because the courts have treated passengers like crew members. But a case being heard in the Supreme Court this year could turn the legal tide in passengers' favor. If the court in Dutra Group versus Batterton rules that crew members can sue ships for punitive damages after personal injury, the case can be made for passengers to do the same. So we'll see if they get anything out of this, or if in fact this is just going to be a wow. Every time I hear that, and every time I see on television, the commercials for get a free, I feel so bad for anybody who has to go through that on a daily basis. I cannot imagine that. That would just.
It's kind of like diabetics whenever they have to draw blood every day.
I would rather do that. I mean, and I know people who are diabetics that have to do, adjust an insulin and everything else. But man, a catheter. Oh. From catheters to gut bacteria, we cover it all here on the Daily Mojo. Recent research has revealed that gut microbes can alter how well a medication even works in your body. So from anxiety to all sorts of other disorders, now they're even saying that your gut microbiome can affect how the medications you take on a daily basis even work. They say 1,000 species of bacteria. Think about and never Google what they look like. I'm telling you, just don't do it. Just do something good for your gut, especially if you're feeling bloated or have abdominal discomfort. For some reason, a lot of listeners to the Daily Mojo seem to have. Go to lovemytummy.com/mojo. You will find Atrantil right there. Atrantil is designed to help relieve things like that, body inflammation, abdominal discomfort. It's something nice you can do for your gut. And be nice to your body. We were supposed to have a guest on this morning to talk about sugar, but apparently she's in a sugar coma somewhere, so she didn't show up. But sugar and inflammation and all of the bad stuff we do to our bodies every day, it should be, you should take a little bit of time on occasion and do something good for yourself. That's what Atrantil is all about, and it's at lovemytummy.com/mojo. Iran. Notice how Iran, was it last week, man? We were sailing towards war, and all of a sudden, nothing.
It was a political stunt.
Yeah, but it could quite possibly have been. But it's amazing how fast the news cycle turns. One day the planes are in the air. The next day,
I kind of compare it to the war in Iraq. Do you think that they were trying to gauge public interest or public approval on going to war with Iran? And there was a mass disapproval, and you know what? We're not doing it.
Anything is possible anymore. I don't rule anything out. It could have been, and it could have been that this president just doesn't want a war. I mean, that's absolutely possible. I mean, who does? Who the hell wants?
Wasn't he the one that was really pushing for it, though?
Well, remember he asked the question, how many people are going to die, and the general came back and said approximately 150. With the way, apparently, with whatever they were going to attack, there, the missile bases, that 150 people would die, and essentially he said, look, they shot down an unmanned drone. He called off the attack. That's a story out of Washington.
Okay.
And again, nobody wants to go to war. It's funny. The older you get, the less you want to do it. But we say that we've attacked them from in cyberspace, essentially. That we've attacked their on its military. Iran is saying that it's been a failure, and maybe that was the idea of the whole way, was to distract over here, and with our left hand, and our right hand is creating these cyber attacks. Iran is saying that they did not work. But Iran is also saying that they are willing to discuss new concessions with the United States if we are to lift sanctions and offer new incentives. They shot down the drone, of course, last week. He called it off while the bombers were in the air. Media has reported the United States launched cyber attacks even as he was calling off the airstrike. The Post said on Saturday, the Washington Post, that the cyber strikes, which were planned previously, had disabled Iranian rocket launch systems. See, that's the war of the future. If you disable the tech of a country and they can't, just think of it. If you could disable the flight system on a jet, you could down the whole Air Force. They're so computer controlled now.
Yeah, if you just shut down the grid,
yeah,
you win.
Yeah, that's it. Just literally turn off the power switch. And what was it a couple of years ago? The where was that? Somewhere near Yemen, I think. Remember the ship? Was it a naval ship? One of our ships. Remember, it did some squirrely maneuver and swung around the other ship, and then ran into another one of our ships. That right there, that's the future of warfare. It's a lot like a video game. You hack into their systems, you find a way to control their aircraft so that you essentially you remote control their airplanes, turn right around, and they bomb themselves.
No more trenches, no more coordinates. It's just going to be, yep.
It's getting kind of scary. But the Iranians are saying that the quote is, they try hard but have not carried out a successful attack. This according to Mohammad Javad Azari Jaromi. That's Iran's Minister for Information and Communications Technology. He delivered the message on Twitter. Welcome to 2019. Media asked if the claimed cyber attacks against Iran are true. He said, last year we neutralized 33 million attacks with the national firewall. And that's why we're announcing the new Iranian firewall security system for your business. Allies of the United States have been calling for steps to defuse the crisis, saying they fear a small mistake on either side could trigger war. I don't think either side wants to go to war. We're concerned. We don't think that either side wants it, but we're very concerned that we could get into an accidental war. We're doing everything we can to ratchet things down. This from British Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt. It's hard to know what's true anymore. It really is. I mean, even with the ships being attacked in the just outside of Iran, why did they? I still don't understand why the Iranians denied doing it. In April, they said they would do it, and then when it happened, they said we didn't do it.
Us.
I don't know. Something strange is going on. Mrs. D. Funt tweeted using the hashtag, what I learned today that I already knew. No using the ship med bay. Never, ever, never. That would kind of be my stock answer there. I don't think I would ever trust I've only been on one cruise ship, but I know people who've worked on cruise ships. It's a lot like once you know how the sausage is made, nope.
I just imagine the doctor reeks of alcohol. Like that's
yeah. And he's smoking a cigarette when you walk in. He said, hang on a second. Just go ahead, sit down. I'll get to you in just a second. Hold on. Where's my ashtray? I'll just use this bottle. And that wouldn't surprise me at all. Mojo Jedi, how do you make a cyber attack on a camel in Iran? Are they chipped? Hey-oh. Hold on. Thank you. Effing Florida man, Real Brad Staggs, haven't you seen the documentary Battlestar Galactica? The robots used a software update to disable all ships and aircrafts before nuking everything. That's what it's going to be. That's. I think the next war is going to be a lot of button pushing, and a lot of stuff disabled. So when one side or the other, you name the side, when they get in their jets and they go to damn it. Did anybody fuel up the jet? No, I forgot. Sorry.
Spark plugs are dead.
Yeah. And then the little computer screen just pops up. Boop. Good morning, Captain. Rebooting. And they're just sitting there dead in the water. And that's, at that point, what do you do? I mean, about all you can do is raise the white flag and go, sorry. This is so embarrassing. So this has never happened before.
I swear
this
way better than this.
It's the first time it's ever happened.
This plane is awesome.
It really goes really fast when the thing starts. It's amazing. And Mojo Jedi also said the last thing you ever want to do is go to a hospital in Mexico. No, but the pharmacies are fabulous.
And cheap.
Yes, indeed they are. Yes, and Lori F. Indeed, there is no truth to the rumor there will be a catheter insertion competition at MojoCon 2020. No. And may I repeat, no.
Let's do it.
Not even a little bit. Smacking Duck, luckily I've been unconscious every time a catheter had to be applied and have blocked the memory of any removals. Oh. Again, that is like when my mom would always say it's a fate worse than death, and I'm like, what's worse than dying? Funny, the older you get, the more you realize there is plenty worse than dying. And that's real close to the top of the list. It's your Daily Mojo.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. Mojo 50.
I'm Michael Pelka from PureOpelka.com with your 2-minute drill. Did you know the Democrats have their own language? Yes, they do. They have their own separate language because they're nuts. Listen to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez speaking to a sparse crowd in the Bronx at a Pride rally. She's talking about solving the problems of the LGBTQRSTUV community.
It means decarcerating our society so that no trans woman and no person ever dies again in custody.
Hold on a second. What was that word? Decarcerating?
It means decarcerating our society.
Decarcerating. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It doesn't show up in any dictionary I have, but I think it means emptying the prisons, which we all know would be an absolute idiotic idea, but then consider the source. And if you flip over to MSNBC, Mike Barnacle, part of the Morning Joke crew, gave us a new term describing what he thinks the president has done to the nation.
The Middle East is aflame. Russia and China have formed a powerful alliance that could threaten our situations in the Pacific and around the globe.
Wrong. Yeah, we killed the ISIS caliphate. Iran's being Iran and Russia and China are being Russia and China. But go ahead and say the stupid thing you said about the president.
The President of the United States has successfully narcoticized the country. We are asleep at the switch.
Narcoticized. God help us. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opalka's 2-minute drill is powered by MojoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MojoWildRice.com. MojoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
You know, the other thing that we're going to discover in the long run is that CBDs are a wonder drug. They have so long been on the outskirts, on the periphery of I guess, medical knowledge, and it's been because of the association with marijuana, pot, Mary Jane.
Well, Big Pharma's going to get their hands on it soon.
Yes, as soon as that, and that's been the whole thing. It's been the alcohol industry that I think has been so successful in keeping pot out of the public eye for so many decades. And let's remember, we are only a century out of the demonization of alcohol. I mean, think about that. It was what, 12 years that that prohibition occurred in this country. So it was like it was a decade during which you couldn't go buy a drink. And it was evil. It was, boy, I tell you, the lips that have touched alcohol will never touch mine. It's from the devil and blah, 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 blah.
I think I could use prohibition right now, though, and maybe get my life back on track.
See, it's all about personal responsibility. It's a big difference. But now they're coming out with there's a report out. A new study finds that CBD or cannabinoid, let's just call it CBD, remarkably effective in killing bacteria. They say at least in a test tube. A new study, the results showed that CBD had antibiotic effects against a number of so-called gram-positive bacteria, including staph and strep bacteria, as well as strains that had become resistant to other antibiotic drugs. The results, they say, are very preliminary. People should absolutely not self-treat infections with CBD at this time. Needs a lot more work to show that CBD would be useful to treat infections in humans. The University of Queensland, this is in Australia. They're all stoned down there. Institute for Molecular Biosciences Center for Superbug Solutions. Seriously, that's the University of Queensland's Institute for Molecular Biosciences Center for Superbug Solutions in Brisbane, Australia. Really, economy of words, people. Economy of letters.
Simplify.
No kidding. Keep it simple, stupid. It would be very dangerous to try to treat a serious infections with CBD instead of one of the tried and tested antibiotics at this point in time. The study was conducted in collaboration with Botanix Pharmaceuticals, a drug discovery company that is investigating uses of synthetic CBDs for a range of skin conditions. It'd be a good time to tell you about shopping over at Mojo 50, wouldn't it? Why not? If you go to Mojo 50, if you click on shop, you will find that we actually, let me pull it up here, little partnership with Dr. Ken, the same people who bring you the Love My Tummy stuff. Click on shop and then scroll down just a smidge on the website. And I bring this to your attention because they are right there. There it is right there. The KBD, CBD oils. You get the tincture and the natural, the cinnamon. We got a flyer in the mail, a coupon, if you will. I think I got it Thursday or Friday last week. And it, tell you a funny related story about that in a second. But one of the coupons was for like $20 off of a CBD. So now it's becoming more and more mainstream. Now, these are, again, not being sold as a as a cure or to treat any disease. But if you are in the market to try CBDs out, if they've caught your attention, just bring to your awareness the ones that we have for sale over at Mojo 50.
I could have sworn, though, that CBD was only was cash only. Is that a state-by-state thing?
Must be. I've never heard that. Maybe it is. I don't think so.
There's a lot of vape shops that sell CBD now, but they can only do it by cash.
I think that may be just a...
Oh, maybe it's just a vape shop.
Well, it's the undesirables that come in wanting to buy the CBDs. What is it? In God we trust, everyone else pays cash. No, I haven't heard that. That may just be one of the vape shops things. And that's the thing, is that people, again, it carries with it this stigma that it's related somehow to pot, and do your research. But again, if it's on your radar and you've thought about it, just check out what we have over here, because Dr. Ken is it's a partnership with him. And if you use the promo code Mojo50, you get $20 off. I think so.
You sound really confident about that.
I am confident, damn it. It's you know what? Just start putting Mojo in there. Just start sticking promo codes. Stick the
Mojo
promo.
25, Mojo 50, Mojo 10.
I tell you what, if you can't figure out the promo code, send an email to Ron at mojo50.com, and he will tell you exactly what it is. Ron at mojo50.com. But anyway, so if like I said, if they are on your radar, if you're thinking about doing them anyway, take a look at them over on the Mojo 50 website. It helps keeps the doors open, quite frankly. You've all heard the term, you'd look good in a gunny sack. Oh, I didn't tell you the story about the coupon, did I? So let me tell you that real quickly. So one of the other coupons in this mailer was for a little. It was like a bar, and they're getting harder to find with the like 36 different kinds of beer on tap. And there was one for a local place, and it it was like 36 beer taps, and you can get 20% off your entire order. And I'll go try this place. We go over there, we pull in. It's in a little town in Texas. It's a little strip mall. It's Friday night, and I don't know what, 8 o'clock. Maybe 5, 7, maybe 8, 9 people in this place. Nice little, just not a hole in the wall, not overly nice, just a nice little place. And they've got a bunch of, beers and barley wine. Have you ever had barley wine?
No.
Oh, barley wine. Wow. First time we had that was in Colorado. And let me tell you, it's like 12% ABV or higher. It's just, half a glass of this and you're like, whoa.
Feeling it pretty quick.
Oh, man. It's not like beer. It's barley wine. Anyway, so hey, they got barley wine. Oh, sorry, we're out. One of our most popular, we're out. If it's one of your most popular, why not order more? It's like when McDonald's runs out of Diet Coke. I've never figured that one out. How do you run out of Diet Coke at McDonald's?
It's the cheapest and should be the most abundant.
Right. You should have a truck parked out back with, just full to the rafters of Diet Coke. If that's, again, what can you expect for $15 an hour anymore? But, it was it's one of our most popular barley wine. We ran out. All right. Try one of these. Try something else. Order it was the margarita pizza, and I think the onion rings. I like onion rings. Like I'm an onion ring snob. If they're not good, it's all.
You're going to tell them about it.
I will tell them about it. Well, the onion rings come. Can we get some ranch dipping? Yeah, sure. Drops in. Of course, it's like 15 onion rings, whatever, 12, whatever, however onion rings. You go through the first little, the little tiny little thing. You have in about 6 of them. Hey, can we get another little ranch dressing? Yeah, but they're getting on me. I have to charge you 50 cents for it.
Oh, I can't stand that. Buffalo Wild Wings does that crap too.
It would be if it's said on the thing, I guess. Well, first of all, if you got like 8 people in this place, I'm thinking, okay, is everybody in here is like, will you have a run on ranch dressing? A little, how much of, literally, if you had the big pump thing, it'd be one squirt of the thing, 50 cents. So, we just decided, okay, let's just give the manager some free advice. I mean, just a little critique, not complain, but just say, hey, you come in here and you order a couple of entrees and a couple beers, and the beer's not cheap. Craft beers, they're never cheap. And he comes over and proceeds to explain why they have to charge for it. It's like, oh, dude,
stop lying to me.
You're doing this all wrong. Instead of, don't worry about it. And saving the 50 cents. Don't. It was how they had to do it. They had to charge the 50 cents because, if people come in here and they want, an extra one, we give them one and they ask for another. And I was like, I said, really? Does that, you got like a run on ranch dressing? Is it times that tough out here?
Was he talking about food cost and
he started going.
It's not $1 million for that ranch, bro. Come on.
I know. And I'm thinking, okay, first of all, I realized any advice given to first 5 words out of his mouth, I realized any advice given to this guy totally lost. So I thought, there's no use in giving him advice. So I just decided to fish. So really, we got a lot of people. Oh, yeah, people ask for extra ranch all the time. And I'm thinking, you are going to be closed in 6 months. They've been open about 3.
Just give them the ranch, man.
It was stunning how, and I've never been a restaurant manager, and I know the restaurant business is tough. And I know there are some real a-holes that come in. And if you're a restaurant manager, I feel for you. But you also know that when somebody, and if it's not like, it's like, how dare you charge 50 cents for the ranch? It's the thought, okay, I've got a customer here that's raising an issue. How do I make this a positive experience for the customer? And instead of saying literally, you know what, don't worry about it.
And how big were the cups? Like not even enough to like finish one onion ring?
Right. Yeah. Your typical little black little couplet there.
50 cents.
Yeah. And so instead of just making it a non-issue and making the story, yeah, they didn't even charge us for it. Now the story is he tried to explain to me how basically the restaurant, it's such bad, because that's what he was saying. It's so bad we have to charge because really, you're going to go out of business if you don't get that extra 50 cents, huh? Times are tough out here, I tell you.
Because if they can actually stick to it, do you know how much money they make off that ranch? It's actually an outrageous amount, and that's what they're trying to do. 50 cents per cup, and then if you stick to it and somebody orders, 2 extra servings of ranch, they're making $1 off of every customer.
Right.
It adds up quick.
Well, I bet it does.
And that ranch only costs them about $20 for a bag of it.
Right. Sure.
Bottle.
But at the same time, they have to know, or maybe they don't, and maybe that's the problem, that it doesn't take a bad experience very much time at all to travel halfway around the world. It really doesn't. I mean, that's all. And when you start getting the bad, and I'm not going to go on Yelp and give them a bad review, although I did toy with the idea. But I mean, those are the kinds of things that you start getting the bad. If in fact people are concerned more now with peer-to-peer recommendations as opposed to advertising, then by creating what would be considered a negative or at best a neutral customer experience, really bad idea from a management standpoint. And after, quite frankly, you paid to put a coupon, which I first of all, I never look at coupons that come in the mail. I have no idea why I did this one. I just caught my eye. I think it was because on the same one, it was the CBD oil. And I happened to see this one. I think it was like 20% off your entire meal, whatever.
But oh, hey, let's try it out.
Let's try it. Now, why do that? Why go to the expense of paying for that coupon that you're going to put in? First of all, not the brightest decision in the world, I don't think, to put a coupon in a mailed flyer, because I can't imagine those get the kind of response they used to. I mean,
everything's online now.
Only old people cut coupons.
Only old people mail their bills
with
the check in it.
And I have no idea why in the world, because I'll go to like Joann's or Hobby Lobby, one of those, and get something. And the first thing I do, pull out the phone and type Joann coupon, Hobby Lobby, and you get it right there on your phone. And anybody who goes in there and pays full price for everything is crazy, because you can get half off instantly just by going to their website. So again, if you're going to pay to put a printed coupon out there in people's mailboxes, why on God's green earth would you, once you get them in there, explain to them why you have to charge them 50 cents for a ranch dressing?
You're never going back, are you?
Probably not.
No,
I thought, you know what? Maybe I should give them one more shot. But it's like,
How were the onion rings?
They were good. Onion rings are good. Yes, absolutely. They were good onion. It's just I cannot stand it when you're sitting there trying to explain to me, when I know for a fact everyone cannot possibly complain about this, and not even not complain, mention it. And again, I didn't phrase it as I can't believe you're doing it. I said, you might want to consider, come in here, 2 entrees, a couple beers.
You're still spending a decent amount of money.
The smart thing to do, Management 101 would tell you, for 50, I'm not going to make or break. This is not going to make or break the business on this 50 cents.
It's not worth it.
All right. I should just tell them, hey, don't worry about it. 50 cents on me. The story would have been, man, they have great beer over there. Instead, the story is now, I can't believe the 50 cents for ranch dressing.
Just tell your staff, stop charging them for the ranch. Just give away the ranch. We can eat the cost of ranch.
Yes. I don't understand how, and I don't know how and maybe he just doesn't, maybe he's just a new manager.
Is he older?
No, he was younger. He was probably in his 30s, late 30s, maybe.
He's very by the book. Oh no, I have to charge. No, you don't, bro.
It was very strange. It was very weird experience. But that's what I get for cutting coupons. Hot Rocky with an I. I'm in accounting. Don't hate me. No, see this. The thing is, Hot Rocky with an I. If you wear the accountant's sunglasses and the little accountant's uniform, hot. SK Thompson. What I learned today: if his margins are that tight, he's going down for real soon. Yeah. And that's just it. If 50 cents is going to make or break your business on a Friday night, and again, there were maybe 8 or 9 people in there, and it was after 8, so I can't imagine. And maybe they got a big rush at 10. I don't know, maybe. But I just have a sneaky feeling things are in trouble, and what it is. It starts feeling like scared money, and when you start feeling like scared money, then that's when you have a problem. Hold on, I'm trying to follow Leprechauns. Leprechaun just sent me a secret coded message telling me where the bell count was. Aha, there it is. I got it. Now let's see if I can play it when the time comes. Lenny Dykstra. You know who Lenny Dykstra is? He is a former Mets outfielder.
Okay.
So he is at a Jersey Mike sub shop last week. And he, do you ever have to wear a retainer? Did you ever have braces?
Nope, never had braces, no retainer, no nothing.
I didn't either. I mean, all those weird people with messed up teeth that have to do that, I think they're damaged goods. No, I had friends who would often, and they'd always get in trouble for it too. They'd take their retainer out at lunch and put it on their lunch tray. And then when they went to throw away their trash, they'd throw away the retainer.
And sometimes they didn't wash it.
Right.
Oh, God.
So anyway, Lenny Dykstra is out, and he's having lunch at Jersey Mike sub shop, I guess last week, and he's got these dentures apparently, and they're not cheap dentures, especially if you would call they've been made specifically with bone marrow. They were $80,000 for these dentures.
You might as well just go permanent fake teeth.
I would think so. Maybe there's some medical reason that he can't do that. I don't know. But he's at Jersey Mike's. He takes his dentures out, apparently. He puts them on the tray and then throws his tray away and realizes it later on that evening. To which I have a feeling once he realized what he had done, I think there were certain words that came out of his mouth that probably were unairable, much like Richard Dreyfuss. But he and his buddy returned to Jersey Mike's and went dumpster diving and captured it on video. And here's a little bit of that experience.
You can drop it. Ready? You on? Okay, Neil's updating on my search. Come on down here.
Is he drunk?
Look, what Nails is doing.
No, he oops, where'd it go? He's not drunk. He is the problem. Where the hell did it go? I have no idea where that just went. He is trying to talk without having teeth in. So if you are trying to discuss,
looking for my teeth because
that's what you sound like when you're trying to talk with no teeth.
I broke it down to these 2 bags. I have black gloves, but what I just learned is all the waste that goes out there. There's some good food in here, man.
He's right though. Have you ever looked at them? It's like, damn, they didn't eat all that ham. Have you ever done that? Walked by like a table where they've finished it and gone, oh man,
that's barely touched.
They left like 3 chicken wings there. I think they were clean people. They look like clean people. Why not? I could just eat. I don't even need to buy anything.
Hear that? Yeah, man. That's the Nails hanging out in the deep, deep woods. Okay? All right, let me find my teeth. I'll be back at you. Turn that thing off.
So that's Lenny Dykstra dumpster diving behind the Jersey Mike's where he dropped his $80,000 dentures. And I would have done the very same thing.
Oh, did he find them?
Oh yeah, he did.
I think he found them.
Yeah, he found his dentures, and here was his happy message once he found them.
Yeah, Lenny, thanks for checking in. Nails never fails, huh?
Okay, might have to take that back about what I said about him talking without his dentures sounding that way.
I think he's drunk.
He sounds that way when he's talking with his dentures too.
Keep it short. Happy Sunday. Happy. Look, hey.
He just spit. If you listening, he just spit out his bottom dentures.
All night, all morning, I just found my teeth. Okay, believe it. All right, happy Father's Day, whatever, whatever, some days, whatever, good day. But I got my teeth. That's all I give a fuck.
I knew that was coming sooner or later. I knew he was going to drop that one sooner or later. But yeah, there's Lenny
Sounds
Dykstra.
like me at 2:00 in the morning.
Right? But if my dentures cost $80,000, I would be in that dumpster with a flashlight. Hell, it wasn't too long ago. You weren't here yet, but there was a day that I walked out. Doc was here. Ron was here, and I walked out, and I threw some stuff away, and I had my keys in my hand, ended up throwing them in the dumpster at the same time. I'd left my phone inside the studio, so I had literally had no way of contacting anybody in here to get me back in the building. So I was out there looking for, how did I get in? I somehow I got back in. I think I may have knocked on the back door, but then I had to go find my keys. So, and you realize, oh crap, if today's trash day, I can't let them, empty the dumpster.
They're gone.
They're just gone. So I was in there, and at first, no, I didn't have a flashlight at first. That's right, because I remember I had to feel around inside. And it is the creepiest feeling being
so cold.
Yes, it is. And just thankfully, we don't have a fast food restaurant in the building, because that would have been just with office trash. When you are digging around in a dumpster in the dark with your hands looking for keys. Then the worst part, of course, was discovering that the keys, when I had thrown them, had actually landed next to the dumpster. So I had been digging.
So you've been digging for no reason.
Yes. So I had been digging around in the trash for no reason other than I just really enjoyed digging around in the trash.
You'll never forget that feeling.
No, I won't. And there is nothing that quite except possibly having to insert your own catheter. That's about the only thing that I think that can possibly equate to digging around in a dumpster in the dark with your bare hands looking for something that isn't there to begin with.
Do you think inserting your own catheter, or just inserting one at all, would widen your urethra permanently?
That's a good question. Hadn't really thought about that.
Better flow.
That's good. Yeah, we ought to tell Ron about that. He might be able to get him off the Flomax. In the meantime, go to patriotmobile.com/mojo50, proud sponsors of this half hour of the program. Or I probably should say just sponsors of this half hour of the program. If you go there, you will find that they have some incredible deals for you. As a matter of fact, they invite you to come on over right now for a limited time, offering a free month of service on all new lines. If you come over to patriotmobile.com/mojo50, you can take advantage of the limited time offer. Hurry. It could be ending any second now, and you'd hate to be in line and get there and go, no, I'm sorry, that just ended. Don't be that guy. Use promo code Come On Over. You get Patriot Mobile, a free month of service for new lines, free month for service, all new lines, limited time, promo code. Remember, repeat it with me, Come On Over. And the beautiful thing about Patriot Mobile is that it is as far as I know, the only conservative / libertarian phone service out there. Well, what's the big deal there? Well, when you think about things like Credo Mobile, that every time if you have an account with them, portion of what you're paying them every month goes to fund Planned Parenthood. If that is something you would prefer not to do, if you prefer, in fact, to make sure that a portion of your bill every month goes to fund conservative and libertarian causes, things like the NRA, things like Susan B. Anthony Foundation, things like, you could find an entire list of who they actually give to at patriotmobile.com. And it's right up at the top. You just click on Learn More and Our Causes, and you'll see right there, FRC Action, Heritage Foundation, AFA, that's the American Family Association, and a whole lot more. And the list goes on and on and on. Go to patriotmobile.com/mojo50. Be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Well, Mike. I feel like we should just wrap this thing up.
What do you mean it's last call?
Yep. That's it. I know it feels like it just started, but that's the end of Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. Before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned that the best way forward is to give it all away. Every little bit of it. Give until it hurts. That's the newest campaign slogan from Bernie Sanders, I think. We learned that catheters are really never a fun party favor. I know you go to Party City and think, hey, I should give out catheters, and really just fight that urge. And finally, we learned today that decarcerating, that's when your car runs out of gas. Fairly certain that's what decarcerating means. If you're listening to the program in reverse, wait until you get to Opelka's 2-minute drill. It'll all make completely perfect sense. Mike, did you learn anything today?
Yeah, I actually learned that pulling a catheter out hurts a lot worse than actually putting one in.
You know, that is the truth. That
just rip it out like
yes.
a Band-Aid.
Yes, that's I think
like a lawnmower.
Just like a lawnmower. The bell count for today from Leprechaun 420, and let me see if I can get this right here.
The bell count for today's show: 2 missed innuendo bells, 20 actual bells, 2 rim shots, and 1 AOC. Peace out, y'all. Have a great day.
I think I deserve some sort of a prize.
That was pretty good.
I mean, Leprechaun always does a great job. The fact that I found it and was able to get it to play. I mean, right there, I should just quit and go home and just call it a day. Because, me and technology.
Did you miss an AOC?
Not now.
Not now.
JR15 on the Twitter. Real Brad Staggs, if he can take those teeth out of his mouth and they cost $80,000, he got robbed. But listening to him talk, I can understand why. Kind of my thought, too, JR15. Kind of my thought, too. Mojo Jedi, I learned a cold dumpster is way better than a warm dumpster. Too many creepy crawlies. Let's see here. Jill Hollis in Seattle learned, okay, so there's network fake news. Google search has its bias. An insider comes to Project Veritas, makes a video about MILF fairness, machine learning, all to prevent another 2016. And there you have it. Whiskey 6 learned chewing massive amounts of tobacco for many years not only helps in loss of teeth, but also loss of dentures. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I was wondering kind of what, and you're right. I think it was all those years of a pinch between your cheek and gums. Probably didn't fare so well for the old jawbone tissue there. And Saddle Effing Tramp learned in Brad's mind, future jet fighters sound like an 88 Chevy trying to start. Yes, exactly. By the way, we'll get to those new numbers on procrastination as soon as Doc Thompson returns from his Florida vacation. Your Daily Mojo is, in the meantime, a Ron Phillips and a Mike production. Wherever you go, whatever you do, live by the fire drills. You got a shot at being right and being happy. Good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are.
Wow, see, you got the job. We'll see you next time.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Tensions are running high between the U.S. and Iran.